P&P UK debates on the Motivated Show. Jamaica decides on the 3rd of September 2025. Time come for a better Jamaica.
PNP President Mark Golding insisting the time has come for a change in governance.
People want change. They want a government of integrity. They want a government that they can have trust and confidence in. They want a government that uses the resources for the people only and not for them friends and them cronies.
Time come big a new leader, new Jamaica, new era. We now vote for no shows leader. Long time them a take with the polling, yeah. So Mark Golding are the new leader, new Jamaica, new era. We now vote for no shows leader. Long time them a take with the polling, yeah. So tell them say time come, time come, time come. For your new Jamaica, time come, time come, time come. For say the true Jamaica, time come, time come, time come. For your new Jamaica, time come, time come, time come, time come. For your new leader, time for build up with schools in ya. We help here for your booming ya. A long time them a take with the polling ya. So Mark Golding are the new leader. Orange shirt and the new jeans, yeah. Nobody no be a shouting, yeah. Make we control crime for the new era, so tell them say time come, time come, time come. For your new Jamaica, time come, time come, time come. For see the true Jamaica, time come, time come, time come. For your new Jamaica, time come, time come, time come, time come. Yeah. Mark it the boss with the party. Them a crash with countries I go restart it. Yes, I with the orange shirt the party. One for me daddy and one for me charge it. See the young lady they done this a waffy. Go vote because she remember Mr. Manley. Yes, I mark it the boss with the party. Them a crash with countries I go restart it. Yeah, time come, time come, time come. For your new Jamaica, time come, time come, time come. This is the true Jamaica, time come.
I'm a born Jamaican. I was born at University Hospital, 1965. I grew up in Jamaica. I went to school here, Mona Prep, Campion College. I studied abroad. And I came back right after, went to Norman Manley Law School and did 2 years there. Got a Commonwealth Scholarship, did a master's degree in law in the UK, came back right after, and I've never worked anywhere other than Jamaica. So my entire working life and my childhood were here. So yeah, I'm a born Jamaican.
I stand before you today and say the time has come for change. Yes, comrades, the time is once again for Jamaica to choose change. Things cannot continue the way they are, and the People's National Party will bring change. Comrades, the PNP has been at the center of positive change in this country from 1938, which was over 20 years before political independence from Britain. Over the years, our leaders implemented a vision that led Jamaica forward. It is undeniable that the People's National Party, through every stage of its transition to a modern nation state, we were the ones guiding the country forward. Founding father Norman Washington Manley led political change, including universal adult suffrage, political independence, and nationhood. his son, Michael Joshua Manley, led the transformational social change that empowered Jamaicans to stand firm and shout from the mountaintop, I might be a simple man, but simply a man am I. Equal pay for women was transformational social change. No bastard law was transformational social change. Minimum wage was transformational social change. And rights for workers was transformational social change. Percival James Patterson delivered a vast range of achievements for the Jamaican people. He led infrastructure change, reminding this country that the road to development is the development of roads. He was the chief visionary behind Jamaica's modern highway network, and he became Jamaica's most successful political leader. That is why we say PJ. Portia Lucretia Simpson Miller led the economic change that others are now claiming. And time come for Sister P to get the credit she deserves. Let us never forget her. The Jamaica Labour Party government ran from every test and drove the country into a deep crisis, but it was under Sister P that we turned the country around and put our economy firmly on track. While navigating the necessary sacrifices, Sister P always showed love for the people. And that love is reflected in her powerful instruction: never look down on a person unless you're going to lift them up. Sister P, that was the heartbeat of your message. Dr. Peter David Phillips, he was the principal architect of our successful fiscal transformation. His hands were on the financial wheel when Jamaica worked our way from under the heavy yoke of unsustainable public debt, creating new vistas of opportunity to realize our full potential. We are where we are today as a nation because the team of Portia Simpson Miller and Peter David Phillips guided us through the most turbulent times. We commit today as a party to forever defend their great legacy. The works of our former leaders inspire us to deliver a better life for all Jamaicans, guided by our progressive principles of equality and justice, built on a firm foundation of utmost integrity.
He must inspire by example, and above all, he must have integrity. 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 Hey!
Our leaders have inspired us to move forward and to make new decisions for new times. We are now in a new phase of global change and uncertainty that more than ever must be navigated by strong, principled leadership. Together, we will continue this noble mission, with our next stop being Jamaica House. Jamaica is ready. We are ready. The People's National Party is more than ready.
reflection and in powerful celebration as we observe Emancipation Day 2025, a sacred day in our nation's history, when we honor the courage, resistance, and unyielding spirit of those who came before us and fought for the freedoms that we now enjoy. Our freedom was not handed down by decree. Emancipation was the culmination of generations of struggle and sacrifice by our leaders and those who supported their great work. From Nani to Taki to Sam Sharp, they each realized, in the words of Nelson Mandela, that after climbing a great hill, one only finds that there are many more hills to climb. The road to freedom was long and hard, but they never gave up. And then on August the 1st, 1834, the shackles of slavery were historically broken. And as we honor and celebrate our ancestors who never gave up the struggle for freedom, we recognize this day as representing the triumph of good over evil. Having claimed our freedom, it is a solemn duty of successive generations of Jamaicans to protect it and carry it forward through the ages. From the post-emancipation fires of the Morant Bay Rebellion, to the rise of the Garvey movement, to the great labor upheavals of 1938, through to our political independence in 1962, the Jamaican spirit has always demanded more than just survival. It has demanded dignity, equality, justice, and opportunity for all. Today we stand on the shoulders of our heroes, named and unnamed, who endured unspeakable suffering, whose dreams of liberty helped to shape the very foundation of our democracy and our identity as a people. Emancipation is not only a historic event, it is a living mandate that calls each of us to examine whether we have truly broken the chains of mental slavery, systemic injustice, and economic exclusion. It challenges us to confront inequality, promote inclusion, and support economic and social justice for all Jamaicans. We must continue to work towards an economy that empowers our people, education that opens doors for all, and a society rooted in fairness and respect. Are we truly emancipated when the system deprives so many of our youth of the chance to achieve their potential? And can we say we are free when the gap between the powerful and the powerless continues to widen? To answer these questions with positive change, we must place social justice, equity, and empowerment at the center of our mission. Our commitment to freedom requires to invest in opportunity. Opportunity for all to access quality education. Opportunity for all to benefit from affordable health care. Opportunity to own a piece of the land we call home. Opportunity to move up from poverty and build intergenerational wealth. Opportunity to live with safety, dignity, and pride, no matter what your background or where you were born. As we celebrate this Emancipation Day, we are proud of the resilience of our people, the impact of our music and culture that echoes across the world, and our many achievements despite adversity. Let us be bold and demand that Jamaica fulfills the promise of emancipation for all, not just a few. Let us draw strength from our heritage and find the will to dismantle those structures that still hold too many of our people back. Let us step forward and craft a new chapter, one where freedom means full inclusion and independence means real power in the hands of the people. To every Jamaican, wherever you may be today, I say this: our journey continues as our work is not done. Together, with purpose and unity, we can build a nation that befits the great sacrifice of our ancestors that we celebrate on Emancipation Day. Happy Emancipation Day, Jamaica. One love, and may God bless you all.
President Mark Golding insisting the time has come for a change.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Wasn't that inspiring? Yeah? Wasn't that inspiring? It's the Motivator Show. This is where we translate our words into action and where success is ours for the taking. Yes, yes, yes. And those of you who watch that short intro video would understand what I mean by truly an inspirational experience. This is truly going to be a thrilling, inspiring podcast today. We've got some wonderful people who will be with us within approximately 40 minutes when the main interview will begin. It will be truly an inspiring, enthralling experience. We're going to put that little island in the Caribbean on the map called Jamaica. Truly a cultural superpower. It will demonstrate its political maturity, its inspired thought processes, its ability to influence despite its relatively small numbers, to influence politics and thinking around the world. Oh yeah, you're gonna experience a truly inspired experience. You watch this. Enough. Let me stop there, because when the guests come, you'll understand why. We will offer a different mean, a different method to communicate important social messages, which address the issues of the day, but also place the responsibility not on a small number of people, but on us all to fully participate, to fully take responsibility for our actions and indeed our actions' implications for ourselves, our families, our communities, and indeed the wider international communities. Watch this space. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yes, I'm feeling good. I hope you're feeling good, because these methods, these shows are all designed to inspire, to motivate you to take action for yourself. It is not intended for you simply to receive passively information. It's intended to motivate you. Yeah. So you take action for yourself, your family, and indeed your wider network. And in doing so, we together will transform the world. Yeah? You've heard it on many occasions, the passivity of people who just let actions occur around them, but they still complain about the actions, but still let actions occur around them. Don't worry. We're going to get you out of your seat. We're going to motivate you. You're going to want to take action for improving yourself, your families, your networks, and beyond. That's the purpose of these shows. There you are. Passivity, no go. This is a no-go area for passivity. This is a place where we motivate each other so we can transform our lives, and in doing so, we transform the world. There you are. No pressure, huh? No pressure. No pressure. What I want to do now, I want to spend only a few minutes acknowledging a few of our past guests. And I know those of you who are regular viewers to the Motivator Show would understand. Spending a few minutes congratulating, reminding us all of some of our past guests of this year, 2025, is always useful, okay? Because it's truly been a powerful, enthralling year of guests who often refer to themselves as being just ordinary people. But yeah, they are indeed. But ordinary people like you engage in extraordinary activities, truly sensitive activities, activities that move people's soul, that enable people to have a better material life, a better spiritual understanding of themselves, their families, and the wider community. That makes and ensures that these shows are worthwhile. But I understand if it's in some cases where you feel just a little overwhelmed by it all, and I get that. It is simply a fact of life. Okay, but I hope you all agree that our most recent show, in which we focused on Kenya, yeah, you recall the youth, our futures, you know? 'Cause often we talk about young people being young people, or you might say in Jamaica, the youth them. But actually, collectively, they are our children. Depending upon your age, of course, they are our children. In the case of Kenya, and indeed much of Africa, more than 75% of the young people are below 35 years old. Just think about that, what that really means. Well, you have more than 2/3 of your population who are under 35 years old. Just think of all that ambition that they have, the aspirations they have, indeed, the demand that they have in high flight because of their youthfulness. You know? And if we fail to give them what they need, the best possible education, brilliant health care, yeah, the ability to have a roof over their head, access to good, clean water, yep, access to good food at affordable prices, yeah, yeah, providing them with hope. How incredibly debilitating that can be for any society that cannot meet the needs of its young people. Okay. Africa is going through that experience now, and it has realized its incredible potential. Arguably, Burkina Faso is an example of the youngest head of state, His Excellency, President Ibrahim Traore, 35 years old now. Yep, still the youngest head of state. Mhm. And he's engaged in works that are not revolutionary. They are truly inspiring. Truly inspiring. And he's demonstrated African governance, whether you're on the continent or indeed the Caribbean, what it should look like and what the outcome, therefore, should be experienced by the citizens. I want to give praise and respect to the citizens of Burkina Faso. Praise and respect to the citizens of Mali. Yeah? I would give praise and respect to the citizens of Niger. They're definitely showing the way forward. Those Sahel states are showing the way forward how Africa should be governed. Fearlessly, with confidence, with ambition for the nation, the people, indeed, for the continent. Fearlessly. Absolutely. Yep. And if we fail, then it's our failure. Yeah. Don't need aid. All we need is cooperation in partnership on equal terms. We don't need an exploitee situation. Well done to the Sahel states. Well done, of course, to the people of Burkina Faso. Well done to the president of Burkina Faso, President Ibrahim Traore. The light is bright. We see you. We honor and respect you. Praise Jah. Yes, Rastafari. Honor and respect you always. Oh yes, oh yes. But the people of Kenya, I have to say, who were able to create such people, that wonderful woman, wasn't she outstanding? Yeah. Kenyan youth are showing the way forward. Okay. Let's support Kenyan youth. Intelligent, sensitive, civilized, forward-thinking, fearless, confident youth. Yep. They should be running the country. No disrespect, of course, to the current Prime Minister, of course. But let the youths into your government. Let the youth energy and drive determination for success for Kenya and indeed the countries bordering Kenya. Let the youth have greater control because they will secure the future. Let the youths do so. I want to give my respect to the youths of Kenya and of course to the Motherland African Youth Foundation. They are indeed a source of great strength. In unity is strength. And we will continue to publicize such organizations because they demonstrate the future of Africa, indeed, the future of the Caribbean eventually. Well done. Well done to you all. Well done. Well done to you. Every moment is a proud moment for us here on The Motivator Show. Long may you continue to move forward with confidence. Again, returning to Burkina Faso, I want to give a big thumbs up, of course, to Chief Abundance. Chief Abundance, well done you. Yeah, who came to us directly from Burkina Faso to join us in that podcast. Thank you, my chief. Long may you continue your works in Burkina Faso. We look forward to a transformative works. Okay. And I will, in a forward conversation about Burkina Faso, look at a number of projects that we will champion here in the Motivator Show. Okay. One of those projects, of course, is to help build schools in Burkina Faso. And we are making progress, my chief. We are making progress. But of course, we've said it here on a number of occasions that we will visit Burkina Faso. And those of you who are unaware, you really should be aware by now. And if you haven't expressed an interest, I wish to encourage you to express an interest as well, because it is truly going to be an inspirational experience. Would you like to join us? Would you like to join us? Because honestly, it will be truly an inspired experience. Let me put it detailed on the screen for you. Here we go. Get the right one. First of all, here are the details on the screen. It is our intention to visit Burkina Faso as a delegation of maybe 200 to 300 primarily diasporans from the 26th of January to the 9th of February. Okay. If you wish to join us, if you wish to join us, send your expression of interest to this email address. It's a very simple one, and there are no spaces in what I'm about to say. The email address is the future is Burkina Faso at outlook.com. I say again, the email address is the future is Burkina Faso at outlook.com. We've got more than 200 committed. All we need from you is confirmation of your name. We need your address and a telephone number. And just for you to confirm you'd like to come along and be a part of this delegation, because it truly is going to be an inspired experience, okay, that you wish to come along, and all further details will then follow to you, okay. It will be truly an inspirational experience, and you will all be treated with the highest respect by people of all levels across Burkina Faso, at all levels. And we'll see for ourselves not what the propaganda says about Burkina Faso. We will see for ourselves, experience for ourselves, as indeed Chief Abundance demonstrated here on the Motivator Show, the realities, the hope, the aspirations of the Burkinabés, the people of Burkina Faso. We're going to experience it. The knock-on implications for Africa and the world will be tremendous. Of that, I am assuring you. After all, the motivators involved. We don't do things by halves here. That's for sure. Okay. If you wish to come along, we need your expression of interest. And the email address again, the future is Burkina Faso at outlook.com. There you go. All right. Okay. There you are. I know. Thank you for the feedback I've received so far. It has been tremendous. Okay. I want to give a quick shout out, our last quick announcement, a quick shout out to the members of the African Continental Unity Party. Now, they are a true Pan-Africanist party. In other words, they believe in African unity. They don't say it, they practice it. They seek to overcome the barriers, artificial barriers that have been created between Africa, across the continent, indeed some parts of the Caribbean, whether that be ethnic identity barriers, whether it be religious barriers, yeah, or indeed social class barriers. They seek to overcome it because in unity is strength. Yeah, I say again, in unity is strength. I want to give a praise and respect to one of their leaders, King Gabala, and his inspired works. Okay. They are a true Pan-Africanist party. In the guise, of course, I assert, of a party that we will reflect upon later on in this show. Okay, we will reflect upon another party very similar to this one in this show. Big thumbs up, of course. Big thumbs up to members of the African Continental Unity Party, a truly African united party that seeks to unite all the African peoples, regardless of your tribal, clan, or indeed ethnic affiliation. Okay? Good for you. Long may your works continue in vigor and without interruption. And then my last announcement, if I may. I know I've said a few, but these were necessary amounts, and this is only tip of the iceberg. And if you're unsure why I've made so many, I invite you to go to the YouTube channel. Yeah? Go to the Motivator Show YouTube channel, okay? And you'll see podcast after podcast. We're living a life of abundance, as Chief would say, yeah, of inspired people, inspired human beings, okay, who've demonstrated what it takes to maintain and to uphold civilization. It's civilization that responds to the needs of ordinary people every day, every moment of day and night, and realizes their aspirations for themselves, their families, and their wider networks. Yeah, go watch it. Go watch our earlier podcast, okay? And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, I urge you to do so. I urge you to do so, because in doing so, you give us some recognition that the content that we are providing meet with your requirements. Give us either the thumbs up like this, be very nice. Just a thumbs up. Leave a comment, okay, or at the very least, subscribe. There you are. There you see it on the screen. Just subscribe. It's free, but it tells the YouTube algorithm that this content is worthy content to distribute and promote to the billion or so YouTube subscribers. And it's free to subscribe. Thank you. Thank you. I think the very last announcement I want to make, and I want to refer to particularly Africans of the diaspora. And I deliberately want to refer to Africans of the diaspora. There are more than 250 million of us, Africans of diaspora. Yeah, those of us who are clearly of African heritage, but too many who've never touched the soil of Africa. Too many. So almost denying one's heritage. There is an opportunity to bridge that gap. Yes, of course, you could accompany the motivator and visit Burkina Faso in Africa, of course. Yeah. On the 26th of January through to the 9th of February. Yes, that's one way. Or you can become part of the Treaty of Africans. Okay. You recall that inspired guest we had here, Belenka. Okay. where we discussed, in fact, let me put it on the screen, shall I? If I can put it on the screen. There you go. Oh, get the right one up for you. I'll get up in a second. There we go. There we go. Some of you will recall that guest I had, where we discussed, and it's really important, the Pan-African Treaty of the sixth region, the African Diaspora. Why is that important? It provided an opportunity for the more than 250 million Africans to come under a single treaty and ensure that we have a seat around the AU table. Okay? Through this treaty, you have a voice. Okay? You can be an individual or an organization. Sign up to the treaty, okay, and gives you a direct voice in Africa. Okay, you join hundreds of sorry, get it right, millions of Africans, yeah, worldwide, become part of that sixth region, of course, of Africa, yeah, which represents the diaspora. Okay? And together we will transform the world. To obtain a copy of the treaty for you to read, study, we recommend you sign. The email address to write to is Pan African Treaty, African Diaspora, without the A at the end. Pan African Treaty, African Diaspora, in other words, as opposed with the A at the end, at gmail.com. You can see it on the screen. Okay. Again, I'll put reference to this in the comment section of this particular podcast. I positively encourage you to take it up. All righty, there you are. Oh, and I could have gone on, but just give you a flavour of the quality of the guest and the issues tackled here on The Motivator Show. This is where we translate our words into action and where success is ours for the taking. I know you understand. But that success means that we care for each other and we're conscious of our physical, mental, and spiritual health. Now I need to come on to a section of the show in which we address the issues of our lifestyle. We want to spend just a few minutes on our lifestyle. Because what is marked, particularly Africans of diaspora, is the level of illnesses that pervades our community. I mentioned Jamaica and the Caribbean earlier, which we'll be addressing in the next 20 minutes or so. Levels of diabetes, hypertension or high blood pressure, and obesity, in other words, fatness, and morbid obesities, are through the roof and should be considered, is considered a public health emergency. And what I'm terrified by is the passivity of far too many advocates out there. People in my position who are podcasters, communicators, who do not discuss the health epidemic that's pervading the communities, both in the Caribbean, the Americas, and here in Europe as well. It is frightening. Here in London, here in Britain, the levels of obesity, levels of diabetes and high blood pressure amongst the African heritage communities is through the roof, and we don't discuss it. We don't discuss it. It should be an absolute emergency. We must discuss it because the health of the peoples is at stake. And what I'm heartened by is the numbers of you who've heard these messages, okay? Who have responded, have understood that I don't give these messages for my personal financial gain. There is none. I give these messages because it's a clear and present danger. We need to respond to the clear and present danger. And as you know, I'm bound to say, you don't listen to me on these subjects, listen to the experts from the community who've identified the problem, and many are more than mildly frustrated by the lack of response for the majority of peoples out there. I've marked 3 of those conditions. There are other conditions that I could mention, but 3 most certainly are very prevalent. Diabetes, high blood pressure, and obesity. Yeah, obesity is immediately obvious, but it's quite clear. Both women of African heritage, both in Britain, most certainly in the Caribbean, and most certainly in the United States of America. The majority of our women are obese, fat, overweight, heavier than the men at the same height, and it's having a detrimental impact on the quality of their lives, and indeed the quality of the babies born. Yeah, it is profound. I'm signaling this as a public health alert. Public health alert. I spend just only a few minutes in each of my podcasts to address this public health alert. I want you to listen to this public health director for London. Let him communicate what he recommends should be the lifestyle of all human beings, and most certainly those of African heritage. Listen to the professor. Professor Kevin Fenton says, I'm a public health director. Here are 5 things you can do to improve your health. 1. Mindful and balanced eating. Nourish wisely. Eat whole, balanced meals with awareness to support energy and well-being. 2. Get outside. Be with nature. Time outside reduces stress, improves mood, and strengthens your connection to the world. 3. Stay curious, stay engaged, explore new interests, keep your mind sharp, build social contacts, and boost your happiness. 4. Get active, move it or lose it. Move daily, lift weight, and do cardio. Exercise, improve physical, mental, mood, and energy. 5. Prioritize rest and sleep. Disconnect, rest. Quality sleep supports mental clarity, emotional balance, and overall health. There you are. Simple messages, huh? Simple messages. And if we all adopted his advice, it would have a transformative impact on the quality of our lives. Yeah? It would have a transformative impact on the meaningfulness of our lives. And we, as the elders, as it were, will set the example for young people to follow. Simple messages Professor Fenton recommends to the community would be transformative. It would improve the quality of our lives, our physical, mental, and spiritual health. Okay? This applies not only to people of African heritage, I might add. This applies to all human beings, because that's what we are, basically, just human beings. But in doing so, we transform the quality of our lives, those around us, and indeed the people's lives. Because we're taking responsibility for ourselves and in turn for the rest of society. Because holding hands, working in unity, we find the strength to respond positively to messages which are just common sense messages. So what I'm heartened by is the number of you who've heard these messages, who've heard them and come together in common aim and common purpose, have understood that if we work together, we can transform our lives, our families' lives, our communities' lives, indeed, society's lives, for the good. What could be better than that? What could be better than that? So if in doubt, ask questions. I'm not an expert. You've heard experts speak, those straightforward, common sense advice. But it's for you to respond. But if in doubt, find others who share your perspective, but a little weaker or want support. Working together, holding hands, either figuratively or indeed actually holding hands, enables you to find the strength to move forward as one. And in doing so, you will transform your lives. what I want to do now is share with you an example of a group of people who've come together in common aim and common purpose, pooled their resources so they can exercise together, develop that health consciousness together, supporting each other, and in turn transforming their lives. Watch this wonderful video. Here we go. Yes. Come on, get up now. Get up off your seat. Get up off your seat. Come on. Stretch those legs. Come on now. We've only got 2 minutes of this. Only for 2 minutes. Yes. There we go. There we go. Let's do it together. Yep, that's it. Get up now. That's it. Let's put your arms up. That's it. Put your arms up. Come on. Let's do it together. That's it. That's right. Do it together. That's it. That's it. That's it. Oh, yeah. I can see you. Oh, I feel you now. Oh, yes. Look at them. They're big and they're small. They're wide and they're thin. But they're coming together in common aim and common purpose. This is what we need to do. Working together in unity, in strength. Oh, yeah. She's shaking her head now. Go on, then, Martha. Oh, they're sweating, but they're sweating as well. Oh, look at that, huh? Ooh. Ooh. Oh, yeah, I hope you're not sitting down. I hope you're doing this together. It's only for a minute. Come on now. Let's get that blood flowing. Oh, come on now. Come on. You can do it. You can do it. If they can do it, yeah. Have some water afterwards. Yes. Oh, look at her. Oh, yeah. Come on, we can all do it together. Yeah, this is life-saving work. Oh, and the children are there as well. See the children? You see the children? There's the children. Wonderful children. They're learning from the adults. That's right. Here we go. There we go now. Get ready. Here we go now. Wow. Come on now. I hope you're just stretching those legs now, people. Just for another minute. Then we go to the main podcast. That's right. That's it. They've come together in common aim and common purpose. They've pooled their resources, hired the facilities so they can exercise together because they know they want to go far. If you want to do it fast, you do it by yourself. Yep, fine. If you want to go far, if you want your progress to be sustained, we do it together. These are people from different walks of life who've come together in common aim and common purpose. That's right. There you go. Last 30 seconds now. There you are. There you are. Last 30 seconds. Whoa. That's it. Lift your knees. That's it. Just lift your knees. That's right. Whoa. There you go. Yes. That's it. Ooh. I can feed you. That's right. If we take care of each other, we magnify the wealth in the world. Your health is your highest wealth. That's right. You've got it. That's it. Last 15 seconds now. Last 15 seconds. There you go. And that will justify the whole purpose of these podcasts. Taking care of your physical, your mental, and spiritual health. There's it. Well done, everyone. Well done, everyone. Well done. Well done, everyone. Well done, everyone who participated in that. You understand why that was so important. Sitting down, passively receiving information is not good. And I'm not a professional, and I know that. Yeah, common sense tells us, spending a minute or two, they're stretching, pumping those legs, yeah? Putting up your arms made all the difference. Made all the difference. I respect that group of people. And there are others across Britain who've come together in common aim and common purpose, understood working together is the only way forward. Collaborative economics is the only way forward. The hyper-individualism that generally the systems have propagated have been harmful to the human experience, which is why wealth is so disproportionately distributed across the human communities. I say human community deliberately, yeah? It doesn't really matter, I've found, on the whole, which of the human ethnic groups, as it were, it still appears to be the same. Wealth is unevenly distributed. Okay. Most certainly here in Europe, absolutely in the Caribbean, most certainly in the United States of America, wealth is unevenly distributed. So it's possible for people, astonishingly, here in the 21st century, to die of starvation, for lack of food, lack of access to clean water, for their lives to be stunted for the lack of access to good health care. Indeed, for their life to be underrated for the lack of education. Yeah, this current system is incredibly inefficient and exacerbates the differences between people to such an extent that people, human beings, die. Mhm. So we need to overcome the ethnic divide. That's all they are. We're all human beings. We're one human family. I would say it again. Regardless of your religious affiliation, regardless of your education, regardless of your social class, yeah, regardless of your ethnicity, we are but one human family. That's all we are, a single human family. And all human beings need to take care of each other. Mhm. That's why that particular group, if you're in South London, why don't you come along to the exercise sessions? Or if we put on the screen, there you are. There you are. They meet. They're based in London here, in South London. If you're in London, why not drop in and meet them and participate in the exercise routine? They've come together in common aim and common purpose. They call themselves the Countdown Health for Wellbeing. They meet every Monday and Wednesday from 6:30 to 8 p.m. They're based at 12 Tatum Street, Tatum Street, here in London. And postcode is S for sugar, E17, 1T for Tongo, N for Nigeria. That's them, okay? I said between 6:30 and 8 p.m. on every Monday and Wednesday. Or reach out to them by email, countdown, is it sound, countdown 0405. I say again, countdown 0405 at gmail.com. And if you're in London, reach out, call them. They make the arrangement with you. It's 07960 588. Again, details were on the screen. If you've not heard what I've said straight away, let's replay this YouTube podcast. Okay, there you are. Thank you. I don't mind giving them publicity, because I tell you, they're a remarkable group of human beings. They welcome all. We exercise together, be health conscious together. And if you hold hands together, you know what happens? You feel the strength of those around you. And you're therefore infused to take care of your health, both your physical, mental, and spiritual health. And together, we will transform the world. There you go. Well done. Well done. Well done. Well done. Okay. Okay. All right. It's now time to prepare for what is to come. Jamaica, that modest-sized island in the Caribbean, very modest-sized island, yeah, with a people all known worldwide. They are, without doubt, a cultural superpower, because every person across the world will recognize when you say Jamaica. when you use the term reggae. When you think of some of our icons, such as, or the musical icon, for example, Bob Marley, for example. Those of you who've got a modicum of read some will recognize the name Marcus Garvey. And there are many names that we can associate with Jamaica. And whether you see a forward-thinking group of Africans have come together, I'm proud to say, yes, I'm Jamaican. Yeah. You see Jamaican flag, and you see Jamaicans are participating, actively participants. I say that not by way of boast, but simply by way of facts. So it is important to pay attention to its countries like Jamaica, Burkina Faso indeed, Chad, Niger, Nigeria. It's important, Kenya. Oh yeah, it's important to take note what is happening in such countries. Well, from those countries, and there are others of course, from those countries are persons, both men and women. I'm going to emphasize the women. We, recall that outstanding woman from Kenya. Faith, huh? Outstanding women. And I can show you in Jamaica, we've got some outstanding, astonishing, capable, forward-thinking, visionary women. Absolutely. From Jamaica. The hard, I tell you, my God, I love. But they're sensitive, loving, caring, determined women from Jamaica. Oh, yeah. And they're absolutely resolute. We'll talk about Jamaica's had a prime minister. Yeah. Honor and respect to Portia Simpson. Honor and respect. But Jamaica is going to the polls on the 3rd of September. It is going to be one of those milestone general elections which will determine the direction of that island to come. Okay. Very soon, my guest will join us. And they represent, here in Britain, the People's National Party, UK, PNP UK. It will, of course, as you would expect, an offshoot of PNP Jamaica. Okay? Oh, yeah. Okay. So, we're going to have a discussion about the Jamaican general election and what it will mean. We're going to have that discussion. Okay? And as my guests come into the green room, I'm just hoping that they will come into the green room now. We're going to start this, I was about to say interview. It's not going to be an interview. We're going to have a discussion. We're going to rap. We're going to talk, as we say in Jamaica. We're going to talk. Yeah, we have a roots discussion. We're going to have a roots discussion. You watch. Yeah, as they're coming in, they're coming into the green room now. Coming into the green room now. Be Jamaican, why? They're always on time. Let me tell you. I tell you, African time is the most precise time in the world. Let me tell you. Hey, yeah. They're waiting for the others to join us now. We've got two, I believe, in the green room. But let me wait for one or two more to join us, and then we'll get them into the mainstream. Why is this an important election that's coming up on the 3rd of September? Because it will determine the future direction of the island. And Jamaica, of course, is an important island in the context of Caribbean social politics. Okay, it's an important island. Okay, I've mentioned Jamaicans. There are more Jamaicans living outside Jamaica than in Jamaica. And Jamaicans hold prominent positions both in the United States and, of course, here in Britain. Okay, we're going to learn much more about Jamaica and why this general election is important. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to bring them into the studio. Let's get them into the studio now. They're in the green room. We wait for one or two others, but we're going to get this show on the road. Here we go. This is live, so give us a few moments. Okay, give us a few moments. So here we go. Let's get the first of them in. Get them first of them into the studio. There we go. Let's. In fact, let me just do something else here. 1 second. Make a slight change to my settings here. And I think we can get this right. 1 second. There we go. Let's release that. There we go. Once more. Let's give them into session here. There we go. The first of them into the studio. There we go. Get the others into the studio now. Oh, they're coming in now. Coming in now. There we go. Whoa. It's fitting up. We're fitting up. We're fitting up. Oh my God. Look at those smiles. If there are more of us to come, I wonder if there's any more to come. I think there's 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe one. No, that's it. We have a full house. We have a full house. Praise be. Look at those faces. Oh, we've lost one man. He's doing this. He's meandering around this room. But let's get this show on the road. Yes, sir. We've got a house full of Jamaicans. Can you believe this? Yep, we have a house full of Jamaicans. And look at those faces. Now, I say to the people who live in Africa right now and are viewing us live, yep, or Africans who come directly from Africa and you're in the Caribbean, or Europe, or the Americas, look at those faces. You can only see your reflections. Is that right? You can only see your reflections. Unless I tell you they're Jamaican, you would know if they're from Burkina Faso, or from South Africa, from Kenya, or indeed from Nigeria. All you can see is your reflections. So let that be the first of the milestones that we've reached. But before I say any more, I'm going to invite my guest to introduce himself. First of all, let me recognize the chairman of PNP UK, comrade, there you go, Calvert Barclay. Good morning, sir. How are you, my comrade? How are you?
Morning, Comrade Seaton. Morning. Thank you for having us.
It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure. Can I invite you? I know I'm the host, but you're the chairman, so who am I, huh? Can I invite you just to invite your leadership and supporters to introduce themselves? Who first, Mr. Chairman? Who first?
Okay, so with us this morning, we have firstly Comrade Angela Duncan Thompson, who is the current treasurer of PNP UK.
Welcome.
We also have Comrade Garrett Gilfillian, a past president of PNP UK, and Comrade Matundo Mukulo, who is a standing member of PNP UK and assists us with legal matters, etc., etc.
I want to welcome you all. Thank you, Comrade Chairman. And
good morning
to you all. Good morning. And good morning, Comrade Gilfillian. Good morning to you as well. Just making sure good. We can hear him. They're making sure all the mics working. We've got a lot of ground to cover this morning, Comrade Chairman. And just for the audience, the appropriate salutation here is comrade. We call ourselves comrades. Yep. We are all friends. Yeah. We are brothers and sisters in struggle. Okay? And there's a common history, a common experience, and that enables that term comrade to be meaningful and not simply a sign of some otherness. This is our togetherness. Let's go for this, because the elections in Jamaica on the 3rd of September will be a milestone moment. But, Comrade Chairman, okay, and I'll leave you to determine who will speak in response to my first of my questions, which I want you to see this as being a conversation. Okay. Now, I know politics. Okay? I've got some political leanings myself. Okay. What I'm very conscious of, though, is this: that politics sometimes has a bad name. And that's usually because of the politicians and their behavior, I must say, it's sometimes justifiable. Okay. So I want to address this issue straight on. How will a future PNP government, if elected in Jamaica under the Honourable Mark Golding leadership, restore trust in government, institutions, and political leadership in Jamaica?
Okay, morning. Comrade Gilfillian will lead us on that one, please.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, so restore trust. That suggests that trust has been undermined in the political institutions in Jamaica, which is about right. And trust has been undermined by for a number of reasons. Amongst them is the integrity of the current government. The integrity of the current government has been questioned on several occasions. On several occasions, this included senior ministers of government, including the Prime Minister himself and his home. It's also included Minister of Education, Royal Reid, and it's also included other senior ministers of government. They've alleged to have perpetrated a number of instances of questionable action. Royal Reid, who was at the time Minister of Education, was wrapped up in a scandal that regarding the use of money that he was unable to account for. That he was arrested for that and he was charged, but that case hasn't been heard. The Prime Minister himself has been involved in a number of difficult activities, questionable activities, such that he himself has been questioned by the Integrity Commission. And in response to that, he has taken the Integrity Commission to court in an attempt to undermine their credibility.
Okay.
And in so doing, these actions, all these things brought together, and there are several others, but brought together, they really undermine trust in politicians in Jamaica to a very severe extent. If you look at the turnout rate at elections, you find that they've been going down over a period of time, more so since this government has been in power. That means that people are losing trust in politicians, and we want that restored because it's actually a fairly dangerous position to be in. And so,
Comrade, now address the issue of what the PNP will do to address these issues. Now, tell us.
Yes, I was about to do that. And so now we have a manifesto, and at the heart of that manifesto is an infrastructure based upon ethical considerations. Amongst them, for me at least, one major one is a declaration that is now made by the Prime Minister and leader of the opposition, I think, of their assets before they go into government.
Right, they have to make a declaration of all what they own. In other words, yes.
Yeah. Now that's now limited to just those two people, the leaders of the opposition and to the Prime Minister. The manifesto that the PNP has in place wants that to be generalized to all members of Parliament. All members of Parliament could have their assets and so forth declared, so that the public are aware of what they're going into government with, and hopefully what they're coming out with as well. So that in itself is a fantastic move. It suggests that one, everybody is questionable, not just the two people at the heart of government. And it also means that it's not just the distribution of that information is wide. It's not limited. It is wide. So that is critically important. The other important thing is that, for me, really quite important, is that members can be recalled. Members can be impeached. Now, if an MP does anything untowards, they can be.
Oh, are we losing him?
Yeah, frozen.
He's frozen. Right. Okay.
Well,
you're back with us. Forgive me, we lost you for maybe 5 seconds or so. Just repeat what you said in the
Oh,
past
I'm
5
sorry.
seconds.
So
Thank
I
you.
hope you didn't. I hope you didn't lose me at the place where I was talking about the impeachment of members and how
You
that
just begun
impeachment
to
will
say
help
it.
in the integrity. Right. The
Yes.
impeachment of members is really quite important. It means that those members who have been found wanting by their constituents can be recalled. The constituents can
Right.
recall them. They can say, well, we don't want you anymore because you've not acted in accordance to our expectations or our interests. At
Right.
this juncture, there is nothing of that type. They're often
Right.
members
Okay.
who have been not charged, but whose performance in Parliament has not been altogether adequate, one reason or another, including corruption. And they have continued in their post regardless. And that's happened on several occasions. Whereas on this occasion, now what the manifesto suggests is that these members should be held accountable. So what we have now is, on the one hand, transparency, on the other
Yes.
hand, accountability, all within an architecture of integrity. And that is what the whole manifesto is based on, an architecture
Right.
of integrity, accountability, and transparency. That is critical, and that is in contrast to what is now in place. Total contrasting now with what is now in place. And the People's National Party hope to restore the integrity of politicians, the integrity of Parliament, in contrast to what is currently happening with the plethora of scandals, the plethora of attempts to undermine institutions that are important to the governance of Jamaica.
Well, Comrade Kilfidden, can I just check in that case? So that's the politicians, and I can see the real advantage in that transparency, so that politicians have to declare it can be subject to public scrutiny, their assets and their financial interest. Okay, so that is a system I'm very familiar with here in this country. But my question also addresses the issue of institutions and in government, for example. Are there other steps that the PNP will take to uphold the integrity of government and government institutions? You addressed the issue of political leadership, which is great. I'm very conscious, for example, that that the new legal protection for the ancestral spaces and cultural practices of the Rasta community in Jamaica as part of that reinforcing that sense of confidence in governance of the country. Are there any other examples you could point to that would fall broadly within that remit of showing up the positive view, the integrity of government institutions?
Okay, so that's one aspect of it, and that aspect, I think, accountability, transparency,
Yes. Yes.
is critically important. Now, the other thing is that the manifesto aims to reshape representation in the House, the Senate. So Jamaica has two-tier governance. One is the House of Parliament, and the other one, or the House of Representatives, and the Senate.
Yes.
Interestingly, this is a bold step for me, and one that I really regard quite highly, and I think should be trumpeted, is the inclusion of people from the diaspora.
Oh.
And from the diaspora, and secondly, the inclusion of Rastafarians, and people from the Maroon community. Now, those three
And
elements,
disabilities.
those three additional inclusion in the House, in the Senate, is for me really, really important. It recognizes, one, the diaspora and their contributions to Jamaica, and it is not a minimal contribution, it is substantial, especially when you consider the remittances, because some parts
Yes.
of our history have been number one insofar as income is concerned. The Rastas, critically, really, really important. Because Rastas have been at the heart of developing an identity that is uniquely Jamaican. And of course, the Maroons. The Maroons have been part of Jamaican history for a long time, and they have enclaves which should be recognized, I think. And so those three elements, those three innovations are really important to Jamaica, Jamaica's identity, Jamaica's development.
Right. Thank you. That's a quick canter through some of the changes that have been proposed by the PNP. I may return to you later on, Comrade Gilfidian, so be ready for me. Okay, so let's go through, because you've highlighted a few interesting headings under that question. But I want to go on, if I may, Comrade Chairman, to my next broad question, and again, it's question.
Comrade, see, before you go,
Right.
I would just like to add that there's a fourth component of the society that's slated for representation in the Jamaican Senate, which is persons with disabilities.
Yes.
Which is significant.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. And that's, again, to you both, to all of you, we should shout about. In other words, what the PNP will seek to achieve during its term, if elected on the 3rd of September, is equality access to the seats of power for all. People with a religious affiliation, people in this case with disabilities. We're ensuring that there's at least 50% women in parliament. What we're ensuring, of course, is that politics, or indeed the seats of power, as representative from across the society. That is democratic socialism in itself. Thank you, Comrade Chairman. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. But I just want to go on, though. What steps will a future PNP government take to improve accessibility and upgrade essential services to meet the demand of our people? And these services might include access to clean and efficient energy, affordable transportation, clean water, affordable communication, affordable transportation. What step will the government take, a future PNP government take, if elected on the 3rd of September? Which of your numbers wish to respond to that question?
Yes, Comrade Duncan Thompson will lead us through this one.
Yes. I think the party has looked into this intensely. And if you look at the manifesto, they've prioritized public and private investment for an accessible power. So we want to accelerate the transition to renewable energy, which is important because this is happening around the world now. So we have with universal access, including community-owned and small-scale microgrid systems. We want to renegotiate the license with the Jamaica Public Service Company to ensure that the protection of the public interest in substantially lowering electricity costs to consumers and businesses, strengthening consumer protection, and accelerating the transition to renewable energy. I think that's a remarkable feat that we want to attempt. We want to launch an electricity empowerment program to help low-income households regularize their consumption, with support for solar systems installations. And as you know, Jamaica has been installing solar systems in different areas. So we want to just, support this more and ensure that even the small, low income are also able to do the same. And
Absolutely.
to prop this up, the manifesto states it wants to remove taxes and duties on clean energy equipment for households and micro, small, and medium enterprises. Create clean green energy jobs. Now we're going into the 21st century because we now have different types of jobs that people can aim to, especially for youth in solar installation, battery systems, and energy audits. And develop and enforce energy efficiency standards for public buildings, schools, and hospitals. And to back this up, what we need to do, and the manifesto is very strong on this, is to update the Electricity Act to allow, one, economic zones to generate and distribute electricity, expand
Brilliant. Yes.
licensing for net billing and wheeling, strengthen consumer protection provisions. You know, it's important
Yes.
that whatever we put in place, we have the law to back it up.
Yes.
You know?
Yes. Right.
So let's look at
This
water
is
and sustainable living. We want to make every drop of water count. Now that's so important. Is life. I remember Jamaica has a serious, we're supposed to be the land of wood and water, aren't we? And yet
yes.
still there's loads of communities that have no access to water. And I remember looking at was it St. Anne in particular, where I remember Comrade Hannah was talking about the need for people to have, water or access to water. And we still have people having to, carry water in tanks and trucks and all over the place. That shouldn't be, it impacts health, food security, economic growth, and environmental stability.
Yes.
The PMP believes access to clean water is a right, not
Absolutely.
just
Human
a privilege.
right. Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Go on. Keep
So
going.
they have an approach.
That is what we need. That's what we need. What you're describing of
Yes,
the bread and butter needs of the people. Go on, my
definitely.
sister.
So the manifesto has an approach to which we want everybody to understand is one, to ensure every Jamaican household has access to clean water by 2030. Create a national map of water insecure communities and publish a public delivery plan with clear timelines and milestones. It's important. People don't want to no longer want to sit and wait and hear say it going to happen, but there's no timeline. We need to set
Indeed.
timelines and ensure that these timelines are met. We now
Absolutely.
need to invest in new pumps and storage tanks to reduce chronic water lockoffs. Prioritize climate resilient rural water systems,
Yes.
including rainwater harvesting and solar powered purification. Very important.
Yes. Yes. Well said. Well said.
Also, we need to expand public access to potable water in drought-prone areas using community-based mini-grids and bulk storage. Audit and upgrade leaking infrastructure to reduce the 40% of piped water lost before reaching households. These are things people don't even think about, that we lose water when we need water. We shouldn't be losing it. We need something in place to secure that. And then introduce tiered pricing and subsidies to protect the most vulnerable.
Yes.
Well that's said. On the water.
Well said. Level. Yes, go on. Yes, I'm listening to you keenly, and I know that there's every Jamaican right now who say yes, my sister, and you're actually relating actual experiences in the cities. Definitely. Not so bad, but you go outside the cities. That's where the challenges arise.
Yes, rural areas are the ones that we really need to target for this. And so it brings us to the other infrastructure, roads and transportation, connecting people, products, and places. Yeah. So we need to rehabilitate and maintain roads. Now we started this, but we need to continue. We need to emphasize this. We have to prioritize interior roads because sometimes the interior roads get forgotten. Community roads and farm roads, important to get in food stuff and everything around the country. Expand and modernize farm to market roads. See what I'm saying? To unlock agricultural production. Create a national road management system that includes climate risk mapping, which we all know, with the different climate things we have, like we have, hurricanes, earthquakes now seem to be a popular thing in Jamaica. We need to all look at these things. Reintroduce the lengthman system for drain cleaning and roadside maintenance using community contractors. Important. I mean, that's in the manifesto, and I think that is something that is very important, using community contractors. Promote local contracting for infrastructure development to enhance community employment opportunities and promote local economic growth. What else can I say? I just said it. Implement a national drainage program using an expert verified list of urgent areas. Establish a 10-year road maintenance plan with secured financing. That's important. It's no longer having the plan, you don't have the money to back it up. Invest in public transport system. Let me say that. Invest in safe public transport systems, including rural minibus services and integrated urban routes. No, we have to be. We're already aware of this. It started. We have to get little credit, but we can develop this to a height. Reform the Transport Authority to focus on sector regulation, data gathering, and legislative guidance.
Well said.
So, how are we going to bring
Well
all this
said.
together?
Well said.
Broadband. We need a definitive broadband and digital infrastructure, and the
Yes.
PNP has looked at that. So we are saying that we need to bridge the digital divide. In today's world, access to the internet is a basic necessity. It's no longer the preferred just of those who can afford it. It's a necessity for everybody. So the digital infrastructure must be extended to every community to unlock opportunities in education, business,
Yes.
and healthcare.
Absolutely. Yes.
So what is the party's approach? The party's approach is to establish a department for rural broadband in their manifesto. So if people don't know, this is what the PNP is really gearing towards. Access to drive the expansion of affordable and reliable broadband internet to unreserved areas. Equipped all community centers with free Wi-Fi. That would be great. Support
That'd be
education,
fantastic. Yes.
telemedicine, and innovation. Partner with telecom providers to expand broadband access with incentives for reaching low income, and rural areas. Again, this is very important. Rural areas. Implement a universal service access plan to ensure all Jamaicans have access to digital tools and training. Always back up everything with training. Launch digital literacy campaigns for youth, seniors, and small business owners. And that is just a general overview of how the PNP is going to do that.
Well, look, my hands on heart, I'm telling you, my heart is beating faster. If only 10% of that happens, it'll be transformative, huh? I can feel my heart beating.
The thing is, when you have a vision, you have to lay it out. Then you have to start putting the plan in progress. And we've laid it out in the manifesto. So we just need the opportunity now to start putting things in place.
You note, you didn't need to knock the opposition. You needed to state our strength, and the people now believe you, because that's our vision, and that's what we should vote for on the 3rd of September. Thank you, comrade. Thank you. Well said. Oh my gosh, well said. Maybe we should get you into Jamaica House, huh? You take me out York, yeah? You take me out York. Come on.
York stayed a long time ago. I don't know about that now.
Actually, comrade, there's no if comrade Angela should vie for entering Jamaica House, we gentlemen would be at the risk of being outnumbered. As we actually have 22 female candidates now vying for the PNP to Parliament, which is
well done, PNP.
phenomenal.
Yeah, well done,
right?
PNP. Well done, PNP.
They're young and strong.
Yes.
Can you imagine that? It suggests we've not only have these numbers of which is about 1/3 if we should get into Parliament. We don't only have a good female representative, but we've also had a female prime minister serving 2 terms. Whereas the other party hasn't had any. So we've done quite well as far as representing women is concerned, and I think that extends to protecting women now in enshrining that in our manifesto as well. Recognizing that women and children, being a vulnerable group in Jamaica, have now got the protection of the PNP in their manifesto. Should they avail themselves of that protection, then yes, they're in a position of advantage.
Comrade Gilford, and thank you for that. I've got to kind of allude to my sort of next broad question. And the PNP has stated that it intends to lead Jamaica into an era of economic transformation by broadening business ownership and strengthening traditional industries and building the foundations for a future economy. Now, I've got to ask this question. How will the PMP achieve these goals? Who can respond to that question? This is me. I'm a young man still, you see. So I want to go get it. Yeah, love. Stop that. This is the question for those young people who are brimming with ideas and have got the enthusiasm. This is the question that will open the door for them. Who can respond to that question, Mr. Chairman?
Comrade Gilfillian, tell us.
Right.
Go on, sir.
Tell you, you know, the all that's been said so far by Comrade Thompson, it alludes to the plan that the PNP have. Because you see, it all depends on a number of things. The infrastructure is critically important to development of businesses.
Yes.
Now, we do have businesses around the center, in metropolitan centers, Montego Bay, Kingston. Yes, they're there and they're quite visible. But they have the infrastructure. They have the internet and they have the roads But the businesses in the rural areas that compose the majority of Jamaican population are less motivated, in the sense that the internet connection in the rural areas are nowhere near as good as those in the urban centers.
Okay.
That's important to development of business. Mark Golden himself has lamented on the roads in the rural areas. They are poor roads, but they are necessary. They are necessary in order for people who are interested in business. They are necessary for those who are farmers who want to get their product to market. Those roads are really important. And so if those roads are neglected, as they have been for several years, then one, our food security is in jeopardy. And two, businesses are in problems as well. They are less able to develop. And the same thing applies to the digital infrastructure. Now, there's another component to development, and that is education. Our education is unfortunately extremely poor. And so the PMP manifesto addresses that in a number of ways, not just in terms of improving the schools infrastructure. That is important, yes. What is also important is availability of internet connection. Now that is extremely poor, despite ambitions, it's extremely poor. Now, the government, the PMP in government, through its manifesto, intends to improve that several-fold, and they intend to put very clear timelines on doing that. Now, that is on top of the commitment to improving early years education. The early years education throughout the world has been proven to be the base, the platform on which there is further development. If you neglect early years education, you neglect your future. You neglect economic development. So economic development is not just what happens now. It's also about what has happened in the past. So you can develop your so-called human capital. I don't particularly like that word because it suggests that you're nothing but workers. It develops a human capital. Jamaica, as it currently stands, as one of the lowest human development index in the world. The PMP manifesto aims to address that.
If I may comment, Gifford, yes, because I was studying some of the stats that more than half of those who supposedly leave school have a reading age at least 5 years or more below their chronological age. Yeah? In other words, they cannot access what we call here high school education. More than 50% of the population. Now, that's an astonishingly high figure, and therefore undermines the nation's ability to take on the jobs of the future, which definitely requires you to be better educated. I would imagine, and I don't mean to interrupt you unduly, but the party will give very, very particular focus to addressing this issue. And trying to work out if there's a time frame, but maybe an unfair question to you. But that is the challenge we have, that the numbers are so stark at the moment. The decline or the neglect of education in the education sector has been so long lasting. It's profound. So tell us more about education. You know that my background into public life was where I was a school governor. And therefore, I have a passion for young people to ensuring that they can realize their potential. And I know you have a similar background yourself. Just tell us more about this. Tell us more.
So the comment, see the education question, I was gonna be doing that one. So I don't know if
okay.
Yes, please come back to that. But let me just complete by saying this.
Okay.
And this comes back to what's happening now. What is present for the age group at hand now, and so what we will find now in Jamaica is that there's a large. Jamaica is not as poor as people would assume. In fact, it's amongst one of it's considered a mid development country, but the opportunities and the capital is concentrated in the hands of very few people. Now, the manifesto clearly says we are going to pay attention to small business development. We are going to try our very best to make business loans available to small businesses. At the moment, that's not the case. And you will know that capital is important to the development of any business. And so this manifesto, the PNP manifesto, addresses that problem and will encourage the development of small businesses. So sorry, Comrade Chair, if you...
That's fine. It's okay. And before you come back in, Comrade Chair, I recall the debate, more recent debates, which involved the economic debate recently, which was well televised and led ably by, of course, Comrade Julian Robinson. And of course, he alluded, of course, to the prevalence of the part of that economy which is not participating in the formal economy. It's been very large, and that one area that he will be addressing is a question of taxation. Okay. And if I understood his words, that if you got a turnover of less than $3 million, these numbers are from a British perspective seem very large, but anyway, but we recognise the actual true value. It's more than 3 million that you would not pay any tax. In other words, 3.5 million. There you are. Thank you. And in doing so, it means that those who are part of the informal economy can become part of the formal economy, and therefore make it easier to gain access to capital. Okay. And that is one way to help the economy to grow. I felt Comrade Robinson described that initiative very well, and having spoken to a number of family members and others on the island, I know now that they will formalize their business. Okay, because the tax can be quite heavy for them, and they can't afford it. But if you not have to pay tax, and you become part of the formal economy, then they have access to capital. There you are. It's just an interesting evolution that's occurring. Awareness by the PNP as to how to energize the economy. The energy is there, but we need to re-energize it so that it can be better use for all Jamaicans to benefit from. Praise be. Thank you, Comrade Gilfidian. Thank you for that. Unless you want to say any more, but thank you for that. But that was very well said. And it does set the scene as to why the voters should vote for PNP. Vote for PNP. Vote for PNP. But in saying that, of course, and Comrade Gilfidian alluded to how the PNP will achieve those goals. The other question that I was able to put to you all: will the future PNP government pursue? Forgive me if I get this right. The PNP has stated, or forgive me, I'm getting it slightly wrong. I might be out of sequence now, my comrade, but let me go.
Question 4.
Yeah. Question four. Question 4, of course, is that will the future PNP government pursue closer cultural and trade connections with African countries? Okay, now that's an issue which is ongoing discussion I've had with people right across the Caribbean and indeed in Africa. And there is a groundswell of opinion that there need to be closer, both cultural exchange, of course, because the same people, but trade exchange between the Caribbean and Africa. Is there a view amongst PNP UK about that? Is that a view that you share, Mr. Chairman?
Currently, Philip, over to you again.
I have always found that an interesting question, and it's also a difficult one because we have long connections with Africa, of course, because we are a country of Africans. But in addition to that, we have had long connections with Africa via Michael Manley and his assistance to freedom movements in Zimbabwe, South Africa, Angola. And perhaps there's other places as well. So our connection with Africa has been strong. We have long connections with Africa through Marcus Garvey. Many African readers refer to Marcus Garvey.
And just for the benefit, forgive me, my comrade. Just for the benefit of the audience, we know who Marcus Garvey is. You might even want to say a little bit about Marcus Garvey, our first national hero. Just say a little bit about the man, because many may not know him, believe it or not.
Right. I believe that many Africans are very much aware of Marcus Garvey, and if they're not, they're very much aware. They're very much aware of Rasta, and if they're aware of Rasta, then they're likely to be aware of Marcus Garvey. Now, and the interesting thing about Marcus Garvey, who was, I'm not sure how you describe Marcus Garvey. But for me, he was an innovator. He was a businessman. He was a politician. He was a very extremely strong leader. And to say more about him, you'd say that most African leaders, especially the post-independence leaders, use Marcus Garvey as their template. Now, Marcus Garvey started off what was regarded as the serious innovation, the Black Star Liner, which was a ship that was intended to cultivate business between Africa and the rest of the world. Now, the interesting thing about it now is that, of course, Jamaica has this very strong connection to Africa, being Africans, of course. And the other thing is that the current government, the manifesto, as one suggested that we give a seat in the Senate to Rasta, who defined the identity of Jamaica in many ways. And two, they have now suggested in the manifesto that we include a study of Marcus Garvey as well. Now that suggests very clearly to me a move, though it be not initially economic and political, but it certainly suggests an identity, a creation and a recognition of our identity, which moves us closer towards trading with Africa. And of course, the other interesting thing about it is that the People's National Party also recognizes that Jamaica has an identity which is very closely African. Our constitution is actually published in Patois, available in Patois, believe it or not. So all this suggests that there is a strong inclination. It may not be stated in policy or in the manifesto yet, but there's a strong inclination, certainly a recognition of our identity, and therefore of the advantages that we have in trading with African nations who are of the same or similar economic status to Jamaica. And of course, Jamaica offers many advantages to these countries, as well as these countries offers many advantages to Jamaica in terms of international trade.
I'm going to pause there, but thank you, because in other words, the trajectory is looking toward Africa as a place for both cultural exchange and for trading as well. And I know Africa wants to look to the Caribbean. There is no doubt. Thank you for that response. Thank you for that response. But I need to move on to another subject, which is quite sensitive. Please, Jamaicans, don't take offense now. We are all concerned, very concerned, that Jamaica's murder rate has damaged the island's reputation. How will the PNP tackle this issue if elected on the 3rd of September? Mr. Chairman, who will speak to this one?
Okay. Correct, Tundo.
Okay.
Time come. Good morning to everyone. Time come. Thank you very much.
Let me say it again. Time come.
That's right.
Yes. Time come. Go on, Matundo. Yes, sir. Go on. Yes, sir.
And
Thank
indeed,
you. Thank you.
I think most of us know the bad news, and most of us know some of the good news. But where we're starting from is really the party starting from is position where the up until the last 6 to 8 months, we were really seeing that the current administration was averaging, I think, a 25% higher murder rate than the last period when the People's National Party was in power. It was in 2016.
25%. My gosh, can you imagine?
Higher.
Hey.
I mean, one of the things that a spokesperson on national security and community safety, Senator Bunting, has always made is that this government has the unenviable record of presiding over the most murders of any two-term government since 1962. I mean,
what a thing, eh? Boy.
Yeah.
Go on, sorry, go on. Yes.
And of course, we acknowledge now that there's been, thankfully, a fall in the murder rate. But I think the approach that the People's National Party government will take is to first and foremost see crime for what it is, as a public health issue, and also that in as much as you need boots on the ground to tackle violent crime, you have to go to the if you like, the communities. And one of the things that has sort of caught my eye in the manifesto, if we were to look, for those who have access to the manifesto online, page 50, where it really talks in clear terms about the importance of expanding school and community-based programs like the Peace Management Initiative. Now, this was something that the previous, when we were last in government, that was pursued. It was dismantled by the current government for reasons best known unto themselves. But this is something that I think that I know that the party is committed to reintroducing, because at the core of an element of it is that you have to have peace management initiatives in a country where you have warring factions, and to ignore that is to really play a blind eye to it. Our young people are the ones who, if you look at the stats in terms of those who are murdered or those who are arrested or apprehended, they're the ones who are at the cutting edge and at the front and center of the criminal activities, either as victims or perpetrators. And so what the party, looking at that and looking at that data, is saying is, well, look, listen, we want to provide mentorship, and we will offer mentorship, therapy, and conflict mediation in high risk communities, because the reality is that most of our young men, again, who are dying are just persons who are just emerging from their teenage years. And so if you have mentorship, you will help to steer them out of crime. I mean, I think one of the sociologists based at the University of the West Indies, I think Herbert, Dr. Gale, has made the essential point that a young man who completes 5 years of secondary school, and for those in the UK, equivalent to GCSEs in the GCSE in Clareton is called a CXC or CSEC. If you finish the CSEC, or you matriculate to sixth form, and you complete 2 years of sixth form, your propensity to be involved in crime is significantly reduced. And so a mentorship program, a mentorship program is certainly something that I think is worth the investment, and it's something that the party is interested in. It will pursue expanding vocational training, apprenticeship,
Yes.
and
Yes.
financial literacy.
Hmm. Hmm.
Crime, any sociologist will tell you,
Yes.
takes place where disaffected youth or young person are not engaged in any meaningful employment or training. And if you expand vocational training and apprenticeships, then you're bringing individuals, young persons, especially where apprenticeship is concerned,
Hmm.
into training, and this the on the economic growth side. I think I think Comrade um, past year had spoken about the economic aspect of the manifesto, but
Yes.
we certainly will be as a party partnering with businesses and
Hmm.
giving them a benefit if they take on apprenticeship or have apprenticeship programs. And
Hmm.
across the world, I think we all know that these programs do work and companies do take them up. The second chance programs for young offenders and returning citizens who have been
Hmm.
deported
Yes.
because obviously they were involved in crime. I think
Yes.
again the second chance program for young offenders is a good thing, and it is one that the party certainly has set out and that it's committed to do. On the other side of the balance
Yes.
sheet, I think I see where the party in its manifesto made it clear that dealing with this aspect of mental health services as part of your
Hmm.
crime prevention tool
Yes.
is important. As we all know as Jamaicans, too little attention is paid to that. And in another dispensation, I had reason to really look at how the
Hmm.
mental health tribunal in our country how it's operated, and
Hmm.
you'll be surprised that
Hmm.
very few persons who are engaged with that tribunal, be the affected individual or the family
Hmm.
members, engage with the mental health tribunal. In some instances, are not
Right.
brought before it. So I'm pleased to see
Yes.
that it's
Yes.
a more holistic approach to crime prevention,
Yes.
and on the other
Yes.
side of it is also the specific crime of domestic violence,
Hmm.
which is a high prevalence rate of that in our country. And what the party is committed to do is to have centers in every single parish. If you
Yes. Yes.
the last JLP government has promised to have these centers, but traditionally you have a center in Kingston. But if you go out in the rural areas where no one has any reason to believe that the rate of domestic violence incidents are any lesser, there are no
Okay.
centers
But
for
I
those who
would
are
keep
affected.
focus on the. I want to keep focus on the murder rate, of course, because that's really what many returning Jamaicans are concerned. You know, both for when they see it happening and in some unfortunate cases when they experience it. You know, because I have members of the community here who have members of their families who've recently passed. Okay, I've had members of the community here who've sought to relocate to Jamaica and then find themselves in situation in which someone is murdered. There's real violence. And it's those issues which most certainly Diaspora needs to hear that the party understands the issue and is tackling them at their root. And what you're saying is that the party is addressing these issues holistically, is seeing it as both, yes, it's criminal, but as a public health issue, and is supporting those who are vulnerable to this type of behavior, both in terms of taking care of their economic and their psychological needs, and indeed their material needs, so that the propensity for them to engage in this type of violence will be reduced. I think that's a reasonable summary of what you described. Would that be right?
I could not have said it any better than you have, but the only thing I
Okay.
would say is that the reason why I mention the mental health is that a lot
Yes.
of the murders,
Hmm.
how horrific they are, it leads one in an unscientific way to conclude that there must be some element of mental health disturbances
Yes.
there.
Indeed.
And
Indeed.
I
Indeed.
suppose that's why the party is committed to
Mm.
reforming the Mental Health Act, and also to train more persons who have the skills to assist persons before they go on to commit heinous crimes. So all in all, I think it's a two-pronged approach: boots on the
Yes.
ground by
Yes.
supporting police officers in terms
Hmm.
of deepening their training, but also
Yes.
working in the communities so that you can have greater levels of preventative measures being taken,
Hmm.
and developing a greater reliance on intelligence led police work, which is
Hmm.
what the party have been calling for
Hmm.
over the last 2 years, when the current government has been sort of focused on states of emergencies that were contrary to what has been asserted and what was asserted by the Prime Minister in the national debates last night. There's no evidence to
Thank
show that
you.
the states of
Thank you.
emergency were working.
If I may,
If I may. Oh, okay. I was going to move on to the next question. I'm just conscious of time now, you see. But if I may, you may come back to me later on, the Comrade Gilfidian. I just want to ask this follow-on question from what Comrade Matundu has just said. The PNV identified that gender-based violence as a national emergency. Now, the party has promised to implement life-saving solutions that protect our women and uplift survivors and prevent future harm. Can I invite each one of you, or whoever you designate, Mr. Chairman, to summarize what you plan to do as a party? Who can we?
Comrade Angela, over to you.
Comrade Angela, indeed. Greetings.
Back to me again. Yes,
It's
yes.
good. Good.
Yeah, the PNP has actually looked at this in depth. And just to
Mm-hmm.
summarize, because it will be, this is a long one, so we're just going to summarize it.
Thank you. Thank you.
We are looking at how to improve response to these situations, because
Mm-hmm.
too many women, or it's not just
Yes,
women, it can be vice versa,
it is true.
who this violence is perpetrated against. So we want to launch a national mobile app to report gender-based violence in real time.
Wow, a
And
national app to report.
yeah,
Wow, that'd be fantastic.
underline the
That would be
real
fantastic.
time, integrate the app with
Mm-hmm.
emergency services and local
Mm-hmm.
shelters. That is so important.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Use geolocation technology to pinpoint incident locations, drawing on Wi-Fi, cell tower, and
Mm-hmm.
device data. And before I spoke about
Mm-hmm.
the expansion of the broadband in rural areas, and so that is
Yes, yes,
very important for the
yes,
infrastructure for this to be
yes.
effective and actually work.
Okay.
And also ensure strong privacy protections to safeguard the identity and safety of the victims.
Mm-hmm. Good.
This we believe, according what we put in our manifesto, that public education and prevention is important. So we need to launch a national campaign on rights, protections, and available services. We need to embed respect, equality, and gender education into the school curriculum from
Absolutely.
early
Yes.
childhood to high school.
Yes.
Train students, teachers, and parents to identify warning signs and respond appropriately. Now that's important.
Mm-hmm.
People now,
Yes.
to be honest, I think a lot of us are very good at it, but we need to regularize it. So it becomes second
Yes.
nature. Promote respectful relationships and challenge harmful gender norms.
Indeed.
For too long, this has been left, unchallenged in Jamaica. We need to really look at that. So we need data and targeted intervention. So we need to utilize predictive analytics to pinpoint high-risk areas and map hotspots based on factors such as lighting, police presence, and established patterns. So gathering data is important for us to be effective.
Yes.
Direct interventions and police patrols in communities with elevated risks.
Right.
Partner with community organizations, churches, and schools to strengthen frontline support. Now, this is what's in the manifesto. And I think this is very important, because to not do this would undermine any effort that we want to make. We need to gather all the relevant data and then put it into practice. Partnering with churches and community organizations will provide temporary shelter for survivors, especially in rural areas. So that is mean, we can't do this. No man is an island. We can't do it by ourselves. So we have to what's the word? We need to link with the churches, link with community organ, link with everybody else, and get them all involved into ensuring that this happens. And so we extend the number and quality of state-funded shelters, and especially something that we sometimes don't think about. We need to create safe spaces, and the manifesto stresses on that. We need to create safe spaces, ensure availability of counseling, relocation services, and legal support. Again, everything is backed by some sort of legal framework. So in order to do that, we need to legal reform and accountability. So the manifesto states we need to conduct a full review of gender-related laws to ensure enforcement and impact, strengthen the prosecution of domestic violence, stalking, cyber harassment, and digital abuse. We're now talking about 21st century laws coming in to protect the people of Jamaica. Address new threats through legislation such as smartphone tracking, online stalking, and non-consensual sharing of private content. So important. This is not just a Jamaica thing, this is a worldwide thing, but we need to know a thing, And lastly but not least, we have to train police and the judiciary to respond with care, sensitivity, and urgency. And I would even add empathy.
Indeed. Yes, I agree with you 100%.
All this is stated in our manifesto. So we can see clearly that the PMP had thought about this, and they put it in there because we need to do something positive. Time come.
Time come. Vote PMP on the 3rd of September. Oh, yes. You've heard it. Yep. And these are not politicians, these are just ordinary Jamaicans who are concerned about Jamaica, have studied what the PMP has stated they will deliver. Okay? They have a track record of delivery. So the communication style is very different from the politicians. It's very clear. It is very personable. And we ordinary people can understand what they must say. Of
course. The good thing about this, when you read the manifesto, it is easily understood, and a lot of people don't take time to read it. But now that we're going to say, I would encourage people, if you really want to understand what the PMP is about and what they intend to do, and that you can hold them to account, because not because we support, we're just going to let them have a free reign. We need to hold them on account and to ensure that most of this gets started.
And I think this is one of the most important aspects of this particular manifesto. It is a holistic type of manifesto. It's not just one which is overweight towards legally type language. It is written in language which is readily available, and it also emphasizes community development. It's not just focusing on economic development alone. The economic development is not just in terms of a particular section of the community, and then it dwindling down to others, it's feeding down to others. No, this is a ground up kind of development, which is quite admirable in terms of it recognizing that there are a majority of people in Jamaica who are not particularly wealthy, but who have ambition, and whose ambition can be facilitated through the contents of this manifesto. Not only in terms of economic development, but also in terms of education, in terms of crime prevention. Crime prevention here is not just in terms of putting boots on the ground, it's not just in terms of militarizing Jamaica and declaring zones of special operation. No, this is about getting people to cooperate and act as a community, not as victims. So it's a manifesto which I would commend to people. I would commend to Jamaicans.
Thank you, Comrade Gilfidian, and I of course endorse that. What I'm going to do, if I may, I'm going to take a 2-minute break, so that I want you all get some water. Yep, because we've been going for an hour, believe it or not, already. So we're going to take a 2-minute break. I'm going to play a part of the intro video, and we'll then return in 2 minutes. So here we go. All right, here we go. Watch this space. P&P UK debates on the Motivator Show. Jamaica decides on the 3rd of September 2025. Time come for a better Jamaica.
PNP President Mark Golding insisting the time has come for a change in governance.
People want change. They want a government of integrity. They want a government that they can have trust and confidence in. They want a government that uses the resources for the people only and not for them friends and them cronies.
Time come big a new leader, new Jamaica, new era. We now vote for no shows leader. Long time them a take with the polling ya. So Mark Golden and the new leader, new Jamaica, new era. We now vote for no shows leader. Long time them a take with the polling ya. So tell them say time come, time come, time come. For your new Jamaica, time come, time come, time come. For say the true Jamaica, time come, time come, time come. For your new Jamaica, time come, time come, time come, time come. For your new leader, time for build up with schools in ya. We healthcare for your booming ya. A long time them a take with the polling ya. So Mark Golden and the new leader. Orange shirt and the new jeans, yeah. Nobody know we are shouting, yeah. Make we control crime to the new era, so tell them that time come, time come.
I was enjoying that too much.
I was dancing away to that.
Yes, I am. Yes, I am. All right. Okay, right. Water is always good. You know, I've been told that after that time we should have a water break at least. Okay. Let me move on, and thank you for comment, Angela, for that comprehensive, lucid response, which I know we all understood. And I say, Jamaica House, time come. Hey, comrade. Hey, what you know? Anyway, let me move this forward. Now, my next question has to do with we all recognize that education serves as a bridge between struggle and opportunity. Yet, for far too many of our children are being left behind. I know we've touched with 31. How will a future PNP government work to improve literacy and numeracy rates, which currently stand at a concerning 50%? Many Jamaicans face disadvantages due to inadequate education. I tell you, this one is so close to my heart. Mr. Chairman, who will respond to this one?
So I'll respond to that one, comrades. So any honest, well-thinking Jamaica will have to agree that our education system is broken. There's no 2 ways about that. If we're talking about just 50% of our children being literate and numerate, that's our population being literate. That's unbelievable, right? So I know that PNP has developed a comprehensive plan to address our broken education system, and this involves looking at the education at our stages from early childhood through to primary, through secondary, through to tertiary. And this involves a revamping of not revamping, but looking seriously at the curriculum and determine what adjustments needs to be made. Importantly, support for teachers, because we need to take steps to sort of stem that tide, of
the
teachers
brain
falling
drain.
out of it. We understand why all that is happening, but that is impacting negatively on our own education system. We have considered institution building, And importantly, we are making provision for community engagement. And this is significant. It says we're going to be establishing what we call a constituency senate to meet biannually with school leaders, parents, and community representatives. So everybody, all stakeholders, we're making provision for that forum for this to involve, right? So in terms of the early childhood education, we intend to introduce structured early childhood screening from age 3 to identify special needs early.
Good. Yes.
Right? And expand programs to address those needs via a model that prioritizes inclusive school participation.
Absolutely. Yes.
Expand access by partnering with churches and communities to host early stimulation and basic education programs. So involving whole society. We all know how integral the churches and so are into our communities and all of that, right? So introduce the first 1,000 days initiative, and this will be focusing on brain development, parental guidance, and nutrition. And also creating an early childhood teachers portal with lesson plans, developmental red flags, and classroom best practices. Right? In terms of primary education, our intention is to ensure that every child can read and do basic maths by the end of grade 4. And as simple as this is, and we take it for granted, it's not happening. So there's a commitment that every child should be able to read and do basic maths by the end of grade 4. And provide literacy support through programs like Veranda Basics, Mommy and Me, and telephone tutorials. These are our initiatives that we already have in place that will be instituted when we form government. In terms of secondary education, and this one is okay. So we're offering remedial support and academic camps for maths and English. And if we're having to be introducing this at the secondary level, it tells the story. Right? Provide scholarships tied to volunteerism and community service.
Yes.
Develop night school programs for adult learners seeking to obtain CSEC passes. Right? We can remember way back in the days of the 70s, Michael Manley, when we had introduced Jamal, which significantly lifted the literacy levels of many of our adult population.
Who would have thought we're doing it again? Who would have thought we'd have to do it again?
Okay. So build modern vocational labs in all high schools, leading to NVQJ certification. That's levels 2 to 4.
Yes.
Host career fairs and certification expos in each parish. No one being left behind. Facilitate hard NTA training in key sectors like construction, agriculture, culinary arts, and AI applications. So we know that the HEART NTA is the vocational training arm of the education system. So we now bringing about a greater involvement of that institute into secondary system.
School.
Where vocational training now becomes a central part of the. So we know that everybody is academic.
Yes, that's right.
But what we know is that everybody deserves a chance.
Absolutely.
Right? To have a good life. So this is where we're at with this. Tertiary and vocational access. Ensure that each household has at least one member with a tertiary degree or level 4 in a state.
That I love. That I love. Every household, every family must have at least one person, that have tertiary education. Huh? Why, that will have such a tremendous social chain. My God, yes.
I tell you. Expand the number of government-funded spaces in tertiary institutions and provide needs-based grants.
Yes.
Establish a special student loan amnesty program to allow students who are now in default to bring their loans current without incurring penalties and interest and arrears. So what I understand of this is that there's a need to waive any interest or accrued and arrears accrued on this, and persons will develop a program to just deal with the principal, like payment over time. So take off some of the pressure off
common sense, isn't it? It's an investment in that individual which society will benefit from. So why weigh them down in debt? I've never understood that at all.
Right. So in the same vein, cap loan payments for borrowers from the Students' Loan Bureau at a manageable percentage of his or her income. Right? So during periods of unemployment, this means we will suspend loan payments and add them to the back end of a loan without penalties. Significant, without penalties.
That's right.
This one, establish what we call the First in Family program of full scholarships for the first person in a family to attend university or college. This is revolutionary.
I would have clapped that. Yes, I would have clapped that one, because that, I think, is a significant one. Yes, absolutely. Right? Yes.
Okay. And doing this, we intend to establish public-private partnerships for internship, placements, and graduate employment opportunities. Right? In terms of the curriculum, the intention is to provide a 21st century curriculum. This involves embedding Jamaica culture and identity, financial and digital literacy, critical thinking, AI learning, emotional intelligence, entrepreneurship, and sustainability in all curricula.
Well said, yes.
Culture and creativity in curriculum. That's we recognize the Jamaican patois as a cultural language.
Indeed.
With English taught as a secondary language when needed to achieve mastery in English. Right? So no longer considered bastards if you're talking patois.
Finally, we recognize ourselves. Imagine.
Exactly.
What, 60 years after so-called paper independence?
The intention also is to build 2 creative performing arts high schools in Kingston and Mobile. So these are high schools dedicated to developing creative and performing arts. Significantly expand music, visual arts, dance, drama, and storytelling in every primary school.
Yes.
Anybody remember? Well, some of us remember Miss Lou.
Yes. Nice to hear. Yes.
Tell us our ages.
We need to bring her back. We need to create a childhood character development.
We have people who that legacy has been carried on by quite a few people I know who really keep doing her work and showing exactly how she.
You must introduce me to them, because then we'd get them here on the Motivator Show.
I will.
Okay. Thank you.
So and of equal or even more importance, comrades, restoring civics and embedding the teachings of Right Excellent Marcus Magzaya Garvey in the national curriculum.
Oh, please, let me clap you this one. Let me clap that one. Yes. Oh, Marcus Magzaya is excellent Garvey. Yes. Great.
Okay. All of this is not being proposed in a vacuum. We recognize there needs to be support for teachers.
Yes.
Right? So this involves recognizing that central to the education process are teachers and the importance of retaining our teachers. The PNP government will pay special attention to them by ensuring teachers receive student debt reductions and motor vehicle concessions at all levels that increase with their years of service in the profession.
Brilliant. Yes.
Right?
Yes.
You know, a lot of our teachers are so poor that they have to be adjusting on the
Ridiculous.
minibuses to go to school and no, it's just untenable. Can't continue like that. No wonder people want to migrate in groves. Teachers want to migrate in groves. We have to take
sessions as well.
Right? Right. All right. So ensuring teachers benefit from enhanced access to National Housing Trust loans and are given priority in housing allocations in NHC finance schemes.
Good.
Negotiating package deals to provide teachers with free internet service as a tool of their trade.
Yes. Right? Makes perfect sense, doesn't it? Yes.
Providing enhanced benefits for those who teach in underserved areas. So incentives to going into those places where people don't want to go. Or it's not fancy. It's not. And we're talking here the so-called ghetto areas and the
so-called,
so etc. And the deep rural areas and so on and so forth. Developing a system of national recognition for teachers that makes it possible for educators to do further studies and conduct research, which is an element lacking in the delivery, the education delivery service at this point. Research, we're not doing enough research.
That's right.
Right?
That's right. Yes, it's quite true.
Providing digital and technological training and tools. Retraining and upskilling teachers, especially in literacy and numeracy, with new curricula and classroom support tools. Right.
What I'm going to do now, but Comrade Chairman, because I'm just conscious there's a lot of information there, so I know that I've understood my audience. They say that we are all very well informed. So I'm going to pause you there. I'm going to pause you there because what I understand is that the audience has got a flavour for the ambition that the PMP has for the people. Yeah, and under the leadership of Honourable Mark Golding, this ambition will be realised. What you've hinted at, and we don't need to go through the old thing now, what you've hinted at is the investment that we made in education, the investment that we made in teachers, the investment that we made in the building, the infrastructure, the investment that we made in the next generation. We are serious. We understand the reasons why those countries in the East, such as Japan, China, and those, is because they invest in education. They have a high focus on ensuring that young people have the best possible education. It's quite tough there, I have to tell you. There's no way you could slack there in Japan. I've met Japanese people, and I tell you, the things they tell me, how they describe their education system, it's ruthless. Because they understand that once that child reaches an adult and that child is realizing their academic potential, that increases the potential of the nation. Okay, so you've said enough there. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. Yeah. Can I just move on to the other subject?
Comment. May I just please allow me to just make this one last point.
Okay. I'm just
in your time. Recognition of the hardships being faced by parents.
Yes.
On this situation. There's gonna be the introduction of what we call the EASE program, which is the ensuring adequate sustenance for education program.
Yes.
Where at least where students will be afforded at least one nutritious lunch per day at the primary and secondary schools for those who need it. And what currently entails is that they have a school feeding program where we're under the PATH program, I think, currently, where those who are receiving free lunch is joining a separate line to those who can purchase, and we don't have to tell you what kind of impact that has on the psyche and the of our children. So all of that will be gone, right? And in addition to the RIDE program, what is the Rural Initiative for Developing Education, which is provide transportation, especially in the rural area. Thank you.
Thank you. No, that was very, very good. To say there's a lot in there. I would encourage the audience to replay this slowly, because it was data rich, information rich. I know some people can't cope with so much information at once, okay? But I understand that it is information which is the ordinary Jamaican people here, reciting what the PNP, if you elect the PNP on the 3rd of September, will deliver for Jamaican people. Okay, so we talked about education there. Can I now move to healthcare, which is the other subject we always discuss? I tell you. Now, I know that the PNP believe that access to healthcare is a fundamental human right. Okay, and what changes or improvement will the Jamaicans, we ordinary Jamaicans, experience if the PNP is elected on September 3rd in healthcare? How would it be different under a PNP government? Mr. Chairman, who would respond?
Okay, yes, that's me again. So first and foremost, the intent is to launch a national maternal and child health program to reduce mortality rates.
Oh, yes, definitely.
Right?
Yes, very important, very important.
Establish high-risk antenatal clinics in all health districts.
Good, yes, another important one.
Expand the neonatal intensive care unit at the Victoria Jubilee Hospitals and create one at the Bustamante Children's Hospital. So we're woefully lacking in neonatal services at this point, right? So the establishment of a new one and expanding the current one is commendable.
Okay.
Reform emergency service with what we call the Adapt and Ambulance program, and this will be supported by the private sector and civic groups. I know that discussions are underway already in terms of so we'll be full speed ahead as soon as the PNP forms the next government in having this. Can you imagine Adapt an Ambulance?
Yes, can you imagine?
Right?
Yes.
And the kind of improved services that they can bring to the system. Training more paramedics and creating a national trauma response system. Create centers for excellence for day surgeries to reduce waiting times and backlogs. And how much we need to reduce waiting times and things. I don't know how many of you people, us know in the diaspora, what is happening in the health system.
Yeah, it is.
Persons
it is
coming
very
into hospitals for sick on the verge of death and having to be sitting on chairs, waiting long hours, lying in corridors. I take no great pleasure in speaking like this about my country. But that is the reality. That's a harsh reality as it is now. Time come.
Yes, for change.
To provide
for a better Jamaica. Yes,
we deserve
better.
We deserve much better than what currently entails. Okay.
Thank you so much.
Invest in AI health systems to improve diagnosis and telemedicine. Ensure that every parish hospital has radiology and CD scan capacity.
Good.
Ensuring that every hospital. So would we think that's a given that every hospital in the 21st century would have radiology and CT scan capacity?
Yes, but amazing,
no?
isn't it? It's amazing. No.
Do we have to be contemplating that now as a new development anyway? The plan also to expand the radiology department at the Bustamante Children's Hospital. Strengthen mental health services by training more professionals, creating mobile emergency teams, and establishing halfway houses.
Yes.
Build at least one mobile emergency response team per parish. Build at least one mobile emergency response team per parish.
Good.
Increase the number of blood collection centers and create an independent and transparent system to manage patient complaints. And importantly, to institutionalize research and development in health to strengthen local solutions and global impact.
We need a PNP government. We need a PNP government, huh?
Yesterday.
Go on.
This plan also also takes into consideration support for health workers. And the intention is to continuously review staffing to align with demand. Provide better housing support for health care personnel through the National Housing Trust. So priority also given teachers and to health workers in terms of National Housing Trust benefits. And offer graduated concessionary duty rates on motor vehicles and student loan forgiveness based on years of service in the public health system. Increase benefits and offer student loan forgiveness for those working in underserved areas and provide scholarship opportunities for further learning. In terms of health financing and expenditure, the plan is to expand services funded by the National Health Fund, including free surgical implants and screenings for persons 60 years and older. So catering for elders here. Strengthen project management to ensure efficient use of public service resources, etc., etc. And the plan also is around institutional reform and community care. We're going to plan to use digital technology for records management and to reduce administrative burdens on care workers. So as it is now, the care workers have to be doing their care work and also bundled with that burden with the administrative responsibilities also.
And what you're describing there, Mr. Chairman, is a significant investment in healthcare. That's the bottom line.
Yes.
It's just like education is an investment in the people. If you don't invest in the people, then the people will not be able to contribute to their potential for the nation's benefit. So I see you. I'm just conscious of your time. You see, I'm just conscious of your time. But it is good. You're providing a flavor. The audience can hear you. You are ordinary Jamaicans reciting the ambitions of a future PNP government. Okay, and if you have the vote, vote PNP. Time comes for a better Jamaica. For a better Jamaica.
Time comes for better life.
The other aspect of what we're saying, it comes back to regarding healthcare. It comes back to the compassion of this government. It comes back to the compassion of the manifesto. It's critically important here. So we also include in that manifesto already, I think it's 555 or $5 billion dollars allocation for the elderly. Make sure that they get their meals, that they have digital service. So and there's also a planned legislation to protect the elderly as well. And so you see within the manifesto a very strong infrastructure based around compassion for the whole people, not just for a section of the community.
Thank you, comrade. Thank you, comrade, for that. That's a good way to wrap it up. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. But I've got another question for you all, though, on a slightly different subject, but an important one, a topical subject. Constitutional reform. Okay. Explain the position of the PNP and the changes they plan to implement if elected on constitutional reform, because I hear a lot about the monarch here, the same monarch in Jamaica. My God, I tell you, and indeed the Privy Council will be the highest court. Now, I don't understand that. What changes will the PNP implement if elected on September 3rd? Mr. Chairman, who will respond to that question?
Comrade Matundo.
Hi.
Greetings.
Time is still coming, and time is coming on the 3rd. Presently, Jamaica has embarked on a constitutional reform process that has really enjoyed suffered, I should say, a stillbirth. It's dead in the water. And so a energized People's National Party, when it forms a government, the first thing that we will do is to get the consultation process correct by engaging with the different groupings within society, churches, civil society groups, a wide cross-section of society, to see how best to design and roll out a constitutional process. I mean, one of the major flaws is that you have a so-called review process, and people have never seen the Constitution, let alone know what is in it. So, what the party will do, hosting public forums, not what was held under this government, but real consultation where people are given an opportunity to say what it is that they want to see change in the constitution, and where those things are actually recorded, and you have serious deliberations on those things, and a document produced and will emerge from that. um, we will be engaging the schools in the process. And so the reason for that is, I say, is quite obvious. If you're engaging persons at, say, year 11 or years 12 and 13 at secondary school, persons who are on the verge of being adults, you these are the persons whom the Constitution is going to serve over the next 30 to 50 years. So that's sort of a deliberate decision will be taken by the party to engage persons at secondary school level. Um, the public education process will be launched. It'll be a step above in terms of quality of that which presently prevail, because I keep saying it, a large cross section of society do not currently know what's in our constitution. The replacement of the British monarch will be twinned with abolishing appeals to the Privy Council, so that we can now appeal to the Caribbean Court of Justice. And when I say twin, I'm saying that the People's National Party has always said that both should happen at the same time. The When you read the manifesto, page 9, it talks about replacing the British monarch with a Jamaican president chosen by and accountable to the people. The current proposal of choosing a president effectively does not see the people playing an active role in that. That will be left to the parliamentarians. And what more critically and troubling for me is that it will be left to the ultimately to the prime minister, and that is really problematic. But so the People's National Party is saying that it will be chosen by and accountable to the people, the president. Fixed term election dates are on the card, but as it relates to dealing with the court system, the appeals, abolishing appeals to the Privy Council, what the party is saying, and it was said in the debate on Thursday evening, that the People's National Party certainly doesn't believe that there needs to be a referendum on that, because the Constitution does not require a referendum to be held as it relates to abolishing appeals to the Privy Council. And I think that the People's National Party is correct, not just as a matter of interpretation of the Constitution, but also as a matter of political reality. An issue of this nature is too important to be politicized, and that is what has been holding us back. Is that you politicize this issue? Now that the prime minister has said, well, he prefers a final court of appeal, a Jamaican final court of appeal, a lot of nonsense, frankly, because Bruce Golding is on record. He was the first Jamaican Labour Party leader to have proposed that, and he's on record to say that is not a real option. So the People's National Party is committed to utilizing the Caribbean Court of Justice, for which the Jamaican people are already paying. So that answers that issue. Is a matter of repatriating our sovereignty. The issue of the British monarch, I think there's a degree of consensus that it needs to be replaced. How it should be replaced and the method of selecting the replacement is what will divide us. But as I said, the party is committed to giving the people a say in that process.
Okay. Thank you. That's much clearer. We need progress, and maybe you're the politician, but we want to make sure, if I may say so, that issue is resolved by the end of the term of the next PNP government. That is not,
So,
it's that's what I think we could all agree on that. So I know that they're listening and they're watching, so they get that message clear. We want to see progress on this issue. Okay.
I mean, the curious thing about it is that the the phrase that the campaign slogan "Time Come" has been more
Yeah.
associated with the issue of abolishing the peace to Privy Council than anything else. So
Yes, this is
I
true.
say
Well
time
said.
come for us to have our own court, not because we think that the Privy Council there's something wrong with it, but every decent self-determining people should have their own court. Simple as.
I'm going to be I'm going to be blunt to you. I think it's national humiliation that you have to go to another country for your highest court. That's a national humiliation. We'll all be
Yeah.
humiliated. It needs to be
I'm
dealt
and
coming.
with right
and,
away.
and we need to
Yeah,
push
that,
on this because
yeah.
you know what the prime minister didn't say. If I might digress a bit, did not say in the debate when he said he prefers a final court of appeal. There's a stealth plan by the Jamaican Labour Party if it should win the next election. God forbid. What they want to do is to use a Hong Kong style model, by which I mean,
Oh,
allow me
yes.
to moderate this. Where in Hong Kong they have overseas judges, effectively British judges and Australian judges sitting on the Hong Kong Court of Appeal. So when they abolished appeals to the Privy Council, what Hong Kong did, it created its own court, but it still has foreign judges sitting on its final court of appeal. And the reason why I say that the Jamaica Labour Party government wants to do this, because I've heard the current Minister of Constitutional and Legal Affairs, Marlene Manuel Fort, when she visited London the last time, attended a public forum, and that's what she said: look out for the Hong Kong model, and that is a plan that they have. These people,
Oh,
we need to get rid of these people, and that is why I say, in
yes.
very
Yes.
straight terms, to those who are listening before the 3rd of September, you need to vote and vote these people out. They're not
Yes.
people who have a bone of independence in them. When you hear them talk about choose Jamaica, how can you be choosing Jamaica and then you want to have some sort of far-flung judges? They still want to retain that connection where the British judges are sitting on our cases. We are paying for the Caribbean Court of Justice. Use it. I mean, in the
Yes.
debate last on Thursday evening. Sorry again to take up the time on this.
It's
I don't know why
okay.
you asked me to
Go
speak
on.
about this,
No, no.
but
Continue,
I hear the
because
Prime
this is
Minister
an important
say
one.
say that, well, I believe in the the Jamaican final court of appeal, but I also think that the Caribbean Court of Justice is a good court. So if you do believe it's a good court, why are we still having
No.
this conversation? Listen,
He
people
said
should
it.
just vote, because I said time come for common sense Minister of Justice. Time come for Jamaica to accede to the appellate jurisdiction of the Caribbean Court of Justice, because, as Bruce Golding has said, and I went back and listened to it last night, he has read the judgments of the Caribbean Court of Justice, and not only does he understand them, but what has assisted him in understanding is the clarity of the judicial writing. Why is it that these guys are holding on to a court in whatever guise when we're paying for the Caribbean Court of Justice and we are not using it? Does Barbados know something that we don't know?
That
St.
we don't?
Lucia,
Yeah.
Guyana,
Yeah.
do they know
Yeah.
something that we don't know? I don't think so.
Okay. Well said, Rotundo. Thank you, comrade. Thank you. Well articulated, and those, your words will resonate with the majority of diasporan Jamaicans, and I'm sure Jamaicans on the island itself. The national humiliation need to stop. It needs to stop. You've demonstrated, we're all just ordinary Jamaicans here, that we have the capabilities to govern ourselves. And most certainly when it comes to judicial matters, we have the capabilities to arbitrate where it is necessary to
Definitely.
ensure that the law is appropriately applied. Praise be, praise be, praise be. I want to now go to this question, and this one for me is an important one. And it's, he's not here with us, but let me do something. Oh, let me find this for you. Let me put this on the screen now. Let this work. There you are. You have him up on the screen now. You have him on the screen. If the Honourable Mark Golding were present, what would be his closing words? What would he be saying to us? Mr. Chairman, we can't see you because his picture's covering you. Yes, God.
Time come. See,
Time come. Let's do this.
Come and see. Listen, I'm sure that maybe the first thing the common leader would say to us is that in Mark Jefferson Golding as Prime Minister, the future is bright.
Yes.
I'm sure you'd say that. Now, safe pair of hands, right? A solid, effective, efficient, honest, full of integrity bunch of people around me to form the next government. One where they have all signed the Integrity Commission's Code of Conduct, right, in terms of how to conduct themselves in the elections and going forward. Well, we can't say the same for the opposing party, and one wonders why is it that they are not in a position to. Well, we don't have to wonder. We know. We know.
Yes.
Right. But in Mark Golding, you see a winner, a successful investment banker. One there's no doubt about his ability to lead and to manage. And to have positive outcomes and output
for the country. Yes.
Right? The compassion that I see being displayed for and love for the country and this desire to really lift us out of the quagmire we're in, right? With no baggage, which is important, right? This man has clearly stated in no uncertain terms that he has no need or no intent to be pilfering.
No.
And it's really sad that we have to be making these kind of comparisons, but it has to be made, right? Honesty, passion, patriotism, and the works, right? This PNP government is ready to take the reins of power and transform our island into that place where we can once again begin to think that we have hope
for the future.
To think that we our children have a future. For some of us in the diaspora who desperately want to go home, to think that things are happening, the changes that are being made are those that we can see ourselves living comfortably. They will be improved. I know, well, maybe we will not be able to provide the level of health care that we now experience in the UK, but at least we'll know that we won't be worrying about not being able to get even the basic health care, especially for those who are in our elderly stages of life and all of that. So, like I say, time really comes, and that time for mantra is not accidental. It's deliberate. Time comes for all of these things that we need to do to make our lives better and to make our country progressive.
Right, that's it. Let me just do the clapping now. Come, clap. Time come. Time come! Time come! Time come for a better Jamaica! Time come for a better Jamaica! Time come! Hey! Okay, let me take it down now. Sorry, Mr. Gordon. Let me take it down the screen now. Lord, Hey, okay. Well, thank you. That was very clear. And if there were amongst the audience, there were uncertainty, they've got to have the vote, and they've watched this podcast. I believe we've communicated to the ordinary man and woman on the street, who are clearly the majority, in a manner that they can understand. We didn't use jargon. There was very little jargon, very little statistics and comparison. Yeah, it was just plain language. The ordinary Jamaicans, ordinary people like me, can understand, affiliate with, and say, yes, I know where I'll put my vote. On September 3rd, I vote for Mark Golding. I vote PNP. I vote for the PNP candidate in my parish, in my constituency. Phase B. Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
Hey, thank you. I want to thank you all for what was an outstanding presentation. And you put, forgive me, Julia and Mr. Gordon and others, these ugly people put you to shame here. Why, them goody?
Just say one thing though. You mentioned one time that not everybody look at the manifesto. Let me encourage you. Just go into Google, put in PNP Manifesto 2025 and read it. It is written in a manner that you can sit down with a cup of coffee and enjoy a whole story.
And you can even listen to it too. If you don't want to read it, you can listen to it.
Exactly.
You can.
And remember, by reading it, that is how you're going to hold PNP accountable going forward. Because they expect that. They expect that. We don't want no free ride. We don't need no
free ride. No. And there's another document that runs in parallel called the People's Guide. If you put that in Google, which what it does, it translates the manifesto along issues of concern to people. That document I found was a powerful testament. It responds directly to the issues that people are asking, as we have done today. Gilfillian, you can say something before we close.
I would like to build on what Tommy Thompson has just said, which is that the Constitution is written in such a way that it's accessible to everybody. And if you care to listen to it, you can listen to it. And if you care to read it in patois, you can read it in patois. So it's very accessible to everyone. I think the most important thing with this Constitution, this manifesto, is that, as Comrade Chair said, it expects accountability. It is transparent. It expects transparency in government, and it expects everybody to participate. And it comes back to Comrade Thompson's point, which is that read it and hold the PNP to account if they should not deliver on it when they're government. We expect to be held to account. I would join anyone, and I suspect that the chair and PNP UK would join anyone in their drive to make sure that what is said in the Constitution is actually put in the manifesto. It's put into operation over time, if need be, but where possible, immediately too. Some things are programmatic, and some things can be achieved without dipping into the finances. Those things that can be achieved without dipping into the finances should be done immediately. Read the Constitution, make sure that the manifesto, which we never know.
We need more water now, you see. Otherwise, I had to break.
Some of which may become Constitution eventually. Read that manifesto, know it, and hold the PNP to account when they enter into government. But that can only be done.
Thank you.
You tell your relatives to vote PNP on the
Thank you
3rd of
so much.
September.
Thank you. Thank you so much, my comrade and comrade chairman. Now, we talked a lot about PNP UK, okay, and you are a good shop window for PNP UK. Jamaicans come together in common aim and common purpose around a common philosophy that we recognize. How can, and I know we've not prepared this, but how can the people contact PNP UK? Okay, you have a website, a telephone number. I know, but you may have it already, Andy.
Yes, we do have a website, but we currently working on it because we're upgrading. But we do have a website, and the number you caught me off guard. I don't have a number on hand, but I can tell you that I can give you 2 email addresses. That if you send your emails, you will get immediate response. And we actually actively seeking to expand our membership at this point also. So it's good.
Yes.
So it's PNP UK, that's PNP UK .secretary, that's SECRETARY at gmail.com. Simple. It's PNP UK .secretary at gmail.com and PNP UK .chair at gmail.com. So any one of those emails are sent to anyone, either myself or the Commerce Secretary will respond to you within 8 hours. And we'll take it from there.
I'll make sure it's in the commentary section for this podcast to those who can refer to it as well.
May I implore, please, so all those of us who are in the diaspora and who have been listening to this, or even in Jamaica, wherever you are, take up your phone, call home, call your immediate network, call your brother, your cousin, your auntie, your uncle. Just let them understand how important this election is, how important it is for them to go out and vote. No, this is no time to stand on the fence.
No.
This is too important for our future. And no matter what the spin doctors have been saying, just look at the realities. Look beneath all of them fancy talk that being spoken and these achievements and all of that. Look beyond that. We need to restore hope.
Yes, we need to create opportunities.
Right? And the only way we can do that is to put a PNP government in power under leadership of what we are now calling the integrity boss.
Yes. Hey, the integrity boss, yes? Oh, wonderful. That's a good way to end. That's a good way to close. A good way to close. I want to thank you. We've gone a little over time, but I can tell by the responses I'm getting that the people remain glued and listening keenly to every word that you've uttered. Because I know you're not politicians, you're ordinary people reciting the facts, the details, your passion for the island. Thank you. And we look forward to meet you again. Don't be strangers now. Hey.
Thanks for having us, comrade. Thanks for having us.
It is our pleasure. Yes. Time come! Hey, time come. I've got to play the song in a moment. Go on now. Enjoy. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you, sir. Pleasure, Mr. Sherman. Bye-bye. Wow. That was something else, huh? This is PNP UK has spoken. PNP UK has shared with you the vision for the future and give you solid reasons why, if you're Jamaican and you have the vote PNP on the 3rd of September. Okay? Look for that PNP logo, vote PNP. If you want change is only possible when you recognize time come. Yes, time come. Yes, for a better Jamaica. Yep. And hopefully Jamaica and Burkina Faso can get together. Yes, why? No, that would be a combination. Can you imagine? Whoa, that would be quite a combination. I say to the Honourable Mark Golding, whatever we can do to get you in Jamaica House so that the manifesto, your stated promises, commitment to the people can be realized. We will do that for you. Okay. Because we want a better Jamaica. That is what this podcast is for. A better Jamaica. If in doubt, ask questions of us. We are there for you. We're there for you. And let that little island in the Caribbean continue to be not only a cultural superpower. I know you want it to become an economic superpower. Superpower. We want the young people to see Jamaica as a place to work, a place to invest. Yeah? That's what we want. We want those who are retirees here to feel safe to go back to Jamaica, and all of their wealth goes back to Jamaica. Yep, and help them Jamaica. Okay. And what we hope is that Jamaica will continue to take the lead on cultural and international affairs across Africa and beyond. The future is what we make of it. This is the Motivator Show. This is where we translate our words into action, and where success is ours for the taking. And these are not hollow words from us. These are not hollow words. These are the truth, because it's very much a mindset. So it's now over to you. I'm going to play the intro video. If you missed the intro video, don't go away. Watch it. It will inspire, motivate you, set you up for the day, for the week, for the month, for the year. Praise be. Praise be. P&P UK debates on the Motivator Show. Jamaica decides on the 3rd of September 2025. Time come for a better Jamaica.
PNP President Mark Golding insisting the time has come for a change in governance.
People want change. They want a government of integrity. They want a government that they can have trust and confidence in. They want a government that uses the resources for the people only and not for them friends and them cronies.
Time come, we got new leader. New Jamaica, new era. We now vote for the show's leader. Long time them a take with the polling, yeah. So Mark Golden and the new leader. New Jamaica, new era. We now vote for the show's leader. Long time them a take with the polling, yeah. So tell them say time come, time come, time come. For your new Jamaica, time come, time come, time come. For say the true Jamaica, time come, time come, time come. For your new Jamaica, time come, time come, time come, time come. For your new leader, time for build up with schools in ya. We healthcare for your booming ya. A long time them a take with the polling ya. So Mark Golden and the new leader. Orange shirt and the new jeans, yeah. Nobody no be a shouting, yeah. Make we control crime for the new era, so tell them say time come, time come, time come. For your new Jamaica, time come, time come, time come. For see the true Jamaica, time come, time come, time come. For your new Jamaica, time come, time come, time come, time come. Yo, Mark is the boss with the party. Them a crash with country, so go restart it. Yes, I with the orange shirt, the party. One for me daddy and one for me charge it. See the old lady, the dung, there's a waffy. Go vote because she remember Mr. Manley. Yes, I'm Marky the boss with the party. Them a crash with country, so go restart it. Yeah, time come, time come, time come. For your new Jamaica, time come, time come, time come. This is the true Jamaica, time come.
I'm a born Jamaican. I was born at University Hospital, 1965. I grew up in Jamaica. I went to school here, Mona Prep, Campion College. I studied abroad. And I came back right after, went to Norman Manley Law School and did 2 years there. Got a Commonwealth Scholarship, did a master's degree in law in the UK, came back right after, and I've never worked anywhere other than Jamaica. So my entire working life and my childhood were here. So yeah, I'm a born Jamaican.
I stand before you today and say the time has come for change. Yes, comrades, the time is once again for Jamaica to choose change. Things cannot continue the way they are, and the People's National Party will bring change. Comrades, the PNP has been at the center of positive change in this country from 1938, which was over 20 years before political independence from Britain. Over the years, our leaders implemented a vision that led Jamaica forward. It is undeniable that the People's National Party, through every stage of its transition to a modern nation state, we were the ones guiding the country forward. Founding father Norman Washington Manley led political change, including universal adult suffrage, political independence, and nationhood. His son, Michael Joshua Manley, led the transformational social change that empowered Jamaicans to stand firm and shout from the mountaintop, I might be a simple man, but simply a man am I. Equal pay for women was transformational social change. No bastard law was transformational social change. Minimum wage was transformational social change. And rights for workers was transformational social change. Percival James Patterson delivered a vast range of achievements for the Jamaican people. He led infrastructure change, reminding this country that the road to development is the development of roads. He was the chief visionary behind Jamaica's modern highway network, and he became Jamaica's most successful political leader. That is why we say PJ. Portia Lucretia Simpson Miller led the economic change that others are now claiming. And time come for Sister P to get the credit she deserves. Let us never forget her. The Jamaica Labour Party government ran from every test and drove the country into a deep crisis. But it was under Sister P that we turned the country around and put our economy firmly on track. While navigating the necessary sacrifices, Sister P always showed love for the people. And that love is reflected in her powerful instruction. Never look down on a person unless you're going to lift them up. Sister P, that was the heartbeat of your message. Dr. Peter David Phillips, he was the principal architect of our successful fiscal transformation. His hands were on the financial wheel when Jamaica worked our way from under the heavy yoke of unsustainable public debt, creating new vistas of opportunity to realize our full potential. We are where we are today as a nation because the team of Portia Simpson Miller and Peter David Phillips guided us through the most turbulent times. We commit today as a party to forever defend their great legacy. The works of our former leaders inspire us to deliver a better life for all Jamaicans, guided by our progressive principles of equality and justice, built on a firm foundation of utmost integrity.
He must inspire by example, and above all, he must have integrity. 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 Hey!
Our leaders have inspired us to move forward and to make new decisions for new times. We are now in a new phase of global change and uncertainty that more than ever must be navigated by strong, principled leadership. Together, we will continue this noble mission, with our next stop being Jamaica House. Jamaica is ready. We are ready. The People's National Party is more than ready.